Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life! Oh, that was awful. On this Monday, August 4, 2025. I should have practiced that before I started. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. Yes, a little bit under the weather on this Monday. And also, I feel like my whole desk is off here. Am I crazy about that? Yes, something seems off. But it might just be the fact that I'm feeling like I'm going to collapse on this Monday, August 4, 2025. It's a beautiful summer day. It's been another interesting weekend in the world of combat sports. There's a lot to talk about. Is it possible to restart the intro there, or is that not possible?
This is your flu game, man. This is your Frankie flu game.
Why do you say Frankie, by the way?
Well, there was one man in here last week that was sick as a dog.
Yes.
That touched your stuff.
Yes.
Touched you.
Oh.
Individually, and then
yes.
Just a couple days later,
the phrasing there.
Okay.
You got quite sick.
Yes.
With the exact same symptoms.
Weird. Now, the weird thing about it is, how come none of you got sick? And you're in the room with him.
I stayed I'm actually it's between me and Andy, but I think I'm the farthest away from him.
But you're still in an enclosed space.
Yeah, washed my hands, wiped down desks.
It was weird on Monday or Tuesday when he came and said, "Hey, let me just disinfect." And I'm like, "Wait a second. By disinfecting, you're actually infecting." So he came here on Monday, sick as a dog, and was just wiping everything down. And I was like, "Who asked you to do this? And why are you doing this? And are you trying to kill me?"
I know, for such a germaphobe, I'm surprised that didn't upset you, because he.
I definitely said it to him. I said,
after the fact,
why?
He was deathly ill.
Oh yeah, no. And guess what? As of Wednesday night, so was I.
Can we go back to 20 minutes ago when you're like, I don't want to make a big thing out of this?
Oh no, I didn't. Hey, to my credit, did I text about it? Did I say anything about it?
No, but
not a word.
I know you were laying in your bed, slumped over with like an ice pack on your head, and you were like, "Fucking Frank." Fuck.
I think it was the opening that made him talk about it. I think he would have powered through until he didn't hit the note.
I had him go through it earlier. I was like, let's get a couple of these.
And then a phlegm wad just came out as I said that.
Was the food poisoning last week or 2 weeks ago?
Food poisoning was 2 weeks ago.
Man.
Get home on if you must
trying
know.
to kill you.
If you must know, get home on Wednesday night. Was feeling a little funky, but felt like I could fight through it. We decided to watch, was it Billy Madison? It was either Happy Gilmore 1 or Billy Madison. I'm losing track of the days. Also, Art Jimerson's head is really annoying me right now. I'm sorry, Art. Let me just fix that. Starting to feel it. Wake up Thursday, mess. Shakes, cold, just feeling like total crap. But I know no one really wants to hear this. You all have your own problems. But since you asked, yeah, and it was just a tough 4 days. Usually after day 2 or 3, I get over the hump, but I've never had to cancel the show due to an illness. And if the show was on Saturday, I might have had to tap out.
I'm glad we all signed that paper earlier using the same pen.
Yeah, I'm really sweaty. Is it me or is it just really hot in here?
It's really hot.
I think you know. I think you know the answer to that question.
What a start to the show.
I'm officially a little bit worried now that I'm going to get it.
I hope.
Well, if Ariel's saying it's hot in there, I'd be very worried as well about his condition because he's usually very happy in that kind of
Can I also
environment.
just say, I hope you don't get whatever it is Frank and I got.
I have you know, Mrs.
PT, you hope
Mysterious is on the up
PT
and
doesn't
up.
get it.
No, I hope none of you get it.
Thanks, Ariel. No, thank you. And if the lads get it,
I couldn't feel my legs anymore. I felt like I was.
Like Friday, yeah.
You couldn't feel your legs and you didn't seek medical attention?
We're not big on the doctors around here. Like we try.
We're gonna bounce back from this.
It's 2025.
We try to ride the wave. You know, I'm trying to teach my kids to toughen up. You know.
Is this why last week you kept saying things to the effect of, I really thank you, Frank, for pushing through?
Wait, but Frank,
Yeah,
did
I regret saying that now.
Did you ever have a moment where you couldn't feel your legs?
I don't need to talk about the no legs feeling.
I feel like
Friday.
this may have been an unrelated malady.
Yeah. Well, as you know, as it mutates, it gets worse and worse and worse.
As it
So
transfers from person to
GC, when he
person.
gets yours, it's going to be crippling.
Yeah. Ugh, I hope not. Listen, I'm sorry that we
safe, so
got
that's
off
the
on
good
this
part.
foot.
This is the pen right here.
This is the pen.
This is
I would
the
toss the
infected
pen out.
pen.
I would toss
It's
the
out.
pen.
It's gone. Yeah. We're done with
I
that.
would get rid of it. Yeah.
Luckily, we all touched it as we were eating lunch.
I'm good. Don't worry
Yeah.
about me.
Wow.
I'll be fine.
So that was ground zero, the lunch table today.
Well,
for
by the way,
next pandemic.
when I came in to say hello to you all, and you were all eating lunch, I actually put my stuff on a other table, and you all said, "Oh, sit here." So I said,
Well, we go
actually,
one, we
no.
go all.
I just said, "Hey, man, could you write that letter?" You're like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was for me. I thought that was an arts and crafts station set up. I didn't realize it was for me." And so then you waltzed right in and sat down 6 inches from me. You were like, "What's up, man? How's the lunch? Weekend good?"
if I'm being 1,000% honest, I'm definitely on the back end of it. No longer contagious. That's what
what
they
I
told me.
I'm gonna reach out to my
Who's they?
Who's
Wait,
they?
you didn't go to the
You didn't go to a
doctor. Who's
doctor.
they?
Your kids?
My wife. I also just,
Dr. Jacqueline.
I also just realized I still have a Ricola in my mouth.
Oh, that
What?
might have been what
Yeah,
messed up
you're
the
hiding
intro
it pretty
then.
well.
This segment brought to you by Ricola.
Is
Shout
that a
out.
lozenge? Is that a lozenge? or
Yeah.
something?
Let me try it again. Back in your life. That's much better.
Nailed it.
You guys would have
there.
never known, right? You
6
would have never
minutes
known.
too late.
Okay, all right. Anyway, great show. Lot to discuss. A lot going on in the world of combat sport. I am actually sweating like crazy. Holy crap. UFC at the Apex, SummerSlam, 2 nights, MetLife. You know the drill. Nice 4-pack of guests on today's program. And perhaps most importantly, I do want to let you know that our Ben Askren Day was a great success. Our auction has come and gone. Thank you to everyone who was involved either in the Super Chat Ben Askren Day participation or the auction. Shout out to, can I say the man's name who won? Am I allowed to?
Yeah, Big Colby.
Shout out to Colby, Colbie. He is getting that. I think it might be en route, right?
It is en route. I just dropped her off at the old shipping station.
Thank you so much. So that was $5,100 for the poker top and felt top table, whatever you call it. And also, I think the super chats was about like $1,200. So all told, around $63, right? Am I right about that?
That is correct.
$6,300 going to the Ben Askren family. Ben himself, his wife, his kids. They can do whatever the heck they want with it. And really, really am proud of that. So thank you to everyone, whether you were involved in the super chats or the auction. Only one person was able to win. Thank you to Colby. And yeah, we could do more of this type of stuff. It feels good to try to help out one of our own, Ben Funky Askren. On today's program, back into the show, we will talk to Michael Venom Page. Michael Venom Page returning to action on the 16th of August. He's fighting Jared Cannonier, and what I think is interesting about this is he's staying at middleweight. I thought after the Shire Bullet fight, it was going to be one and done for him at middleweight, but it seems like he's happy at middleweight, so we'll check in with the great Michael Venom Page, one of the good guys in the biz, back into the show. Prior to that, we'll be joined by Thad Jean, who is now $500,000 richer. He won the welterweight tournament final on Friday night for the PFL, defeating Logan Storley. I think we all think very highly of him. I think we all think that he is one of the faces of PFL, and I think he has been the best story of this tournament format. So we'll check in once again. We had him in studio a couple weeks ago. We'll check in with the victorious Thad Jean, the pride of Florida and Haiti, at around 3 o'clock. Martin Buday has, did I say that with a bit of an English accent?
Martin Buday.
Yeah.
I think you did, yes.
Also, what
As
was
I-
that?
as
What was
I
that?
just-
Haiti? Is that how you pronounce it?
Haiti. Yeah, that's how they say it over there. Yes.
Also,
Oh,
as
really?
I just dropped in the pronunciation.
Yeah, I
not
missed
being
that. I missed that. One that would be better for the ears. Buday.
Buday. That's
Yeah.
what the broadcast calls him.
I thought it was I thought it was Buday.
That just sounds like you're saying
so-
This is
today.
gonna be a good one. I'm feeling this. This is gonna be nice.
Martin Buday is coming off a win. Keep it together there, BT. Jesus
That's right.
Christ.
That's right.
And a winning streak, no less. What is it? 4 in a row for him? 1, 2, 3 in a row. He just beat Marcus Buchecha back in Abu Dhabi 2 weekends ago, and now he's a free agent. His contract was not renewed. Had won, by the way, 3 in a row, lost to Shamil Gaziev, and then prior to that had won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or 14. Like, was on an unbelievable run. UFC did not want to be in business with him anymore. We are going to talk to him about that at around 2:30, and then at around 2, one of our favorites, the great Renato Moicano, will join us to talk about all the things going on in his life. The last time we spoke to him was before the Beneil Dariush fight. Now we will talk to him after the Beneil Dariush fight, so stay tuned for that. There it is, 4-pack of guests on this Monday, coming off a UFC Apex event. You know what? Let's start with the UFC Apex event, and let's talk about Tatsuro Taira, another guy who is 25 or younger, hailing from Japan. There was some talk going into that fight against Brandon Royval back in the fall of 2024. If he won that fight, he could be next in line for a title shot. He did not win that fight. Fought valiantly, but lost his first pro fight, 16-1. Took some time off, did not return until this past weekend. Was supposed to fight Amir Albazi, ended up fighting Hyung Sung Park, who was taking this fight on, 6 or so days' notice. Park was supposed to fight Steve Erceg this weekend at the Apex. Albazi not medically cleared. He enters the fight, and I thought, all right, two flyweights who are quick, who are all action, who are fun. Like this should be a fun fight. It turned out to be an incredible fight, and it turned out to be an incredible showing for Taira, who ends up winning in the second round via face crank at 1 minute and 5 seconds, and afterwards gave us the "I am happy, thank you." He looked tremendous in the fight. Looked like he was on a different level than Park. And what was very apparent to me was they need to get this guy out of the freaking Apex. It feels like every single one of those "I am happy, thank yous" have been in the Apex. And I'm not trying to make this into an Apex rant, but Kaya Sakura is coming up as well. If he fights and wins, even if he doesn't win, send those two to Japan and headline an event in Japan. We're talking about the rise of Japanese MMA, or the resurgence of Japanese MMA. Ryzen having 40,000+ people at their last event just a couple of weeks ago. I was thinking, send them to Saitama Super Arena, but a great journalist who lives in Japan, my friend Bruno, tweeted me this just a couple of days ago. In response to that, Bruno Masami, the problem now is timing. Ariel, Saitama Arena will start a huge construction and maintenance in the middle of January 2026. Expectations are about 18 or less months to complete the process. My guess is something like Ariake or Yokohama Arena for that fight. Do it. Right, PT? You got to do it.
Oh, absolutely. And look, like, to your point about the Apex, this card was full of examples as to why that doesn't work. I thought Duncan and Rebeski had an incredible fight. Reba Vix and Brenner had a brilliant fight as well. And they are great fights. Standalone, like, fantastic to watch or whatever. But the idea of them being in front of a crowd and how much they'd be amplified by a situation like that, like, you can't make an argument against that. Like in an arena, and I know GC has been in arenas recently where they didn't have that kind of buzz, it didn't have that kind of thing happening. Like, that's what live events are all about. And as great as the fights were on this night, and as great, and you're talking about Taira's performance, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I agree with everything you're saying. You come away from it going, how good could have been so much better had it been in front of a live audience. And that's just the feeling I think we're going to continue to have as long as they keep doing these events, and high stakes fights as well. Like, these guys aren't like kicking around the top 100 in rankings. Like, these guys are towards the top. Rebeski was ranked in the top 20 by Tapology, as far as I know, going into this fight. Like, and Taira obviously knocking on the door of a title conversation. I just think it's an awful waste, and it's an awful shame for these fighters to be put in a situation where they're in great fights and they just aren't getting that back from the audience. And we know how pivotal that is, and just enjoying fights in general.
I'm looking, so I'm trying to. One thing about Tapology is doing some incredible things, and they actually just came out with some very exciting news that I want to talk about in a moment as well. Can I make one suggestion to my friends at Tapology? I would love if when you click on the little thing, one thing that that Wikipedia has that Tapology doesn't have, it tells you where the fights took place. You have to do the extra click to find out.
Plus,
Do you understand? No, it's not even the plus. You have to then click on the event to get to the event page to find out where the fights took place. But I do believe for Kai Sakura, last fight, Royval, Apex, Alex Perez, Apex, Carlos Hernandez, Apex, and then July of 2023. Wait, did I say Kai Sakura? Tatsuro Taira is what I meant. July of 2023. So it's been 2+ years since he last fought in front of an audience. Sakura is fighting next weekend in front of an audience at the pay-per-view in Chicago. Win or lose, when is the last time they've had two Japanese fighters in the same weight class around the same ranking where the fight makes sense that you could take it to Japan? I don't even know if there has been a time.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like a sleeping volcano as well in terms of how we think about Japan, like the significance in the mixed martial arts movement. You feel like that fan base is like a sleeping volcano, right? Like if the UFC weren't in such a successful position, like where they're killing it, they don't really need to extend themselves. Like if this was 10, maybe 15 years ago, you'd think they'd be falling over themselves to make an event like this, right? It's just the circumstances, you just don't know if they want to make that effort, right? Even though it would be a joy for us as people consume the sport, a joy for the fan base, and honestly, just the people of Japan would, I think, they'd be more open to something like that with that kind of headline than ever before.
Well, they're in they're in the mode now because they're so successful where they're just going to locations who are paying them a site fee. If Japan's not going to pay the site fee, they're probably not going to do it, right? That's why they go to Baku or some of these other places that are kind of off the beaten path. And so I understand that, but there was once a time where they recognize, hey, site fee or not, we've got something here which will draw money, which will grow the fan base. You know, Dana always used to say, like, we go to a market, we spread like a virus, right? And once and I know they're not in like growth mode per se, maybe to a certain degree still. The company is what, 1993 is still like 32 or so years old, but they're now in site fee mode. And if Japan is not going to pay that site fee, we're not going to get it. It's just pretty damn exciting and unique that you have two. Asakura is top 15. I don't think he's a top 15 guy. I think it's just because he's only had one fight in the UFC. Oh, by the way, that one loss was to the current champ, Pantoja, who's going to go down as one of the greatest flyweight champions of all time, maybe number 2 behind Demetrius Johnson, and who knows what will happen. Probably won't reach DJ because he's a little older, but you get the point. This is so unique. It would be a shame if we don't get to see it. But how many times have we said, like, it would be a shame if BJ Penn doesn't fight in Hawaii. It'd be a shame if Max Holloway doesn't fight in Hawaii. It'd be a shame if Ilia Topuria doesn't fight in Georgia or Spain, Marab, on and on it goes. I don't think they're bending over backwards to make it happen, but when I was watching him on Saturday, especially doing the I am happy, thank you thing in front of no one at the Apex, and then thinking, oh man, Asakura's fighting literally next week. Damn. And plus one of my favorite stories of the year has been the revival of Japanese MMA and that whole scene and what Ryzen has been quietly doing, as one has been just going down, 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 down. Ryzen appears to be going up, 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 up. What a great story that is. And I'm sure they'll get some love once the Smashing Machine comes out and all the stuff surrounding that, Bader showing up and all that. Ah, man, it would be so great. It would be so freaking great to have that event. I would love it. So shout out to Tatsuro Taira getting back on track. Very impressive performance for him. Park taking the fight on short notice, losing his first pro fight. He shall be back, and I'm sure the UFC appreciates the fact that he took it on short notice. Pizza, you spoke to Chris Duncan before the fight. What a guy. What a fight that was. What a performance.
Man, he's incredible, and he's one of these guys that he has always been given the short straw, as far as I'm concerned. Like the first time I saw him, I think he was like 3-0. Came into fight in Dublin against a guy who really, really celebrated kickboxer, Sam Slater. Still to this day, a very well thought of kickboxer, and he was transitioning to MMA, and everyone's like, oh well, you know, Sam Slater's definitely going to win this. Like he had sold hundreds of tickets. It was early in the night. Chris Duncan came in and he put him away in minutes, and I really feel like we've seen this guy throughout his career because he didn't get that classic build-up we've seen in Cage Warriors. And really in his last fight before this one, really exemplified the situations he often finds himself in with Jordan Vucenic, a guy who, you know, the European, the UK scene has been buzzing about for a long time. It was one of those kind of Paul Hughes things with him. He was involved in that trio of featherweights, Morgan Charrier, Paul Hughes, and Vucenic. And we thought this was probably the greatest generation of featherweights the Cage Warriors had seen. He came up against Vucenic in his last fight, and he went through him for a shortcut, and it kind of exemplified his whole career. He's never been given that big promotional push, but here he is doing it again. I mean, it was quite a disparity between him and Rebecki's position in most people's opinions in terms of the rankings. And honestly, I thought he won all 3 rounds, or certainly had an argument. I think Rebecki, you could give him round 1, but I thought Duncan was absolutely savage. His knees actually reminded me quite a lot of De Ritter's, and his elbows were just nasty. He had burst Rebecki open in the first round, and it was a bloody war. I think it was certainly fight of the night. But Chris is an amazing story. He comes from a rural part of Glasgow. He was going to be a shepherd until he found fighting. And there is an amazing story about him, and you can look this up. He spoke about it himself a few fights ago. The day he was to begin his amateur career, his mother died. And it was at the weigh-in. Sorry, he was weighing in for his first fight when he heard this news, the tragic passing of his mother. And he went on and he fought the next day. Yeah. His career is absolutely unbelievable. He might not be the loudest guy in the room. He might not be a guy that's chasing down every microphone and every camera to tell his story, but it is an exceptional story. And here comes another one from Scotland, and he's wearing that Braveheart mask too, which always helps with the fans. So very excited to see where this can go for him. He seems to have a great family there at ATT. He seems to live with Robert Whiteford, another great Scot, who was obviously in the UFC, was in ACB as well. So great to see him have this run. Yes, that's right. You are. Jeez, I mean, I forget you and Rob were best pals back.
Me and Rob. We come on.
Oh, here he's up.
We're an absolute mess around here.
All over the gaff.
Rob gave me this, the flying haggis. Yeah. Remember this?
There you go.
I asked him if haggis was an actual thing, and he gave me this many, many moons ago. You remember Rob New York Rick back in the day?
Of course. Shout out to the haggis.
Now, what happened to
very handsome man, that Robert.
You guys talk amongst yourself for a second.
But you know what? Like, I will say, lads, I do think that's incredibly valuable for UK lads to have Whiteford over there. Do you know, like, to just have that little bit of home, away from home kind of situation? Like, you're in Florida, it's probably a very intimidating environment, and then you can just pop down to a lad you've known for the last 10 years or whatever while you're there. I think that's a huge asset, especially for Duncan being a Scot.
Yeah, friendly face in a new land, you know? Yeah, of course.
I saw a picture from Rebecki. He posted a picture of his face. Did you see this picture? Pete, did you see this picture?
Win or lose, he's going to take some shots, man.
Yo.
Win or learn.
Jeez Louise.
That is nasty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine being on a plane with that. I think that's where the picture's taken. I think that's like...
Did they let you fly like that?
I think that's from like 14B.
You don't think it's business class?
Maybe comfort plus.
14B.
I see fabric instead of a nice.
That looks like he probably didn't get the carry-on space.
These are the rest of the results. Esteban Ribovitz defeated Elvis Brenner. Carol Hossa with the win as well. Neil Magny getting the victory.
Nasty knee, man.
Yeah, man.
Carol Hossa looked pretty vicious out there too.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to finish her.
I did not have the Neil Magny stoppage on the,
Nasty Neil Magny is a great name, by the way, GC.
Yeah. We've been workshopping that together on IG.
Nasty knee Neil Magny.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No, nasty Neil Magny, but it's KN.
Oh, that's the one. That's the freaking one.
There it is.
Kevin Vallejos with a win as well.
Your guy.
Unanimous decision, yep. Nakamura with the stoppage win. Adolfo Vieira with the decision win. Andre Puliev with the stoppage win as well. And there are the rest of the results. Yes.
Solid Apex card.
Austin Bashi with a great submission win as well. Yeah, it was fine. You know, it's the classic. No, it's the classic card where the hardcores will be like, you see, this is why you never sleep on a card going into it. And like everyone knows that cards are fun. We like MMA. We watch fighting. But you know,
but you come away from it going, what if a crowd was there? Like every one of them
for the Duncan,
single
for the Tyra,
one.
For the Duncan, yes, absolutely. And just a reminder that the UFC is putting on the same amount of events today that they were putting on 6 years ago, and every single one of those cards were in a different city around.
Just want cards, man.
Okay, but important.
Cards.
One thing important to note: the portion of the pie, the pie chart of their revenue is significantly different than it was back then. The broadcast fees and things that they are getting are significantly higher, and the live events, while a significant portion of revenue, are not nearly as significant as some other
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Same deal.
What do you mean?
Same ESPN deal.
Huh?
You're talking about the broadcast rights deal,
Yeah, the
right?
broadcast rights from when the UFC used to be on the road traveling every single event.
Same deal.
Now.
They're in the midst of the same deal, 2019.
Yes, and now they can afford to get the site fees from the locations that they're going to and put the cards in the Apex and get those same broadcast rights without having to move away from it. It's the live gate and stuff is like, I don't know, 10% of their total revenue, whereas the broadcast fees make up a much more.
You're defending the Apex right now?
I'm just saying,
an Apex.
the
What is
business, it does not
Apex
justify
apologist.
going on the road like this all the time.
the business. It's about making a better product.
What
Also-
about the product, Rick? What about the
Also,
product?
we're down to like 8 fights at the Apex now.
That's pretty good.
So, like, they can afford 8 more on the road.
Yeah, like they've whittled it down heavy.
Yes. So just do the rest.
Like Dana White said, by 2029 we'll be out of the Apex.
Did he actually say that?
No, he said
No,
much
it
earlier.
used to be
than
like
that.
by the end of the year, not a single Apex show.
Right. Now that the world is opening up,
Yeah,
can
that
start
was
to
it.
get-
That was
we
it.
can
Now
start
that
to
the
get out
world is
there.
opening up, we can blah blah blah.
what about PFL on Friday? Thad Gene with the win, guys. What do we
Yeah,
think?
massive.
Is this the guy? Is
I
this
thought
the
he was
one
going to
that's-
finish him.
Yeah.
This is the guy. This is absolutely the guy.
Yeah.
This is the Dakota story. It was you win the tournament, then you get the next step, and then you get pushed along. I think this is exactly the path that PFL needs for upcoming and future talent. Now you just have to manage this correctly. You take them out of a tournament. You don't do another tournament where it's like, opportunity for it to slip on a banana peel or get beat by somebody who has just been a veteran of the game and around so long, and you can't necessarily like capitalize on their win as well. But he's got everything that you would want. He's got the look. He's got the fighting style. He can talk. He's charming. He's got a great story. Now you manage it the same way you have to with Dakota. Like you really take care to make sure that you capitalize on this investment here.
Shamil Musayev,
Oh man, that'd be
undefeated.
crazy. That'd be crazy.
No, they need.
No.
So here's the question now: does he get a title shot?
Is he not the champion?
No, he's the tournament champion. That's
Lads.
Who is the champion? There is no champion.
There is no champ.
You got to do the
Is Shamil
vacant belt.
Musayev not the champion?
He won the tournament.
He won the
in
tournament.
2024.
What's the difference?
So go tourney winner versus tourney winner for the vacant welterweight PFL champion.
I would like to see that Gene get some guys.
Give
That's
us some
not a good
more-
move for Tajin.
Nah,
Can I be honest?
Musayev.
That's
a
what I'm
nightmare.
saying. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Nah, I say
But I
Musayev.
do agree with everything
Silverback
that Rick
Nation.
said.
Who,
Stands
who
behind him.
the last Bellator champion was Jason Jackson? Was it not?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I believe.
And he already beat him, so he should be the freaking champion.
He's the lineal.
Yeah,
He's the welterweight tournament champion.
he's the lineal Road to Dubai Champion Series champion.
Oh, thank
Hey,
God. It just rolls off the
we're
tongue
ripping
really
on
when
it?
you say it like that.
The belt is nice.
The belt is
The belt
fucking
is
beautiful.
friggin' nice, man. I like the PFL belt more than I like the UFC belt.
I'm with you.
That's
Look
a
at this
good looking
thing.
belt, man.
Isn't that a thing that happened though before? I think Ben Folks mentioned this in the crack once where he's like, it's never a good sign when your thing is like, but look how nice the belt is. You know what I mean? I think IFL had a beautiful belt back when he was working with them or something, and they used to say that too. It's a very confusing situation. I do agree with everything Rick said. I think that he is exactly the kind of guy that when PFL do things well, they produce guys like this. They produce a Dakota, they produce Paul Hughes, people we haven't seen in different major promotions coming up through them and looking like a star in the making. I do think they're in a better situation though with Thad in terms of matchmaking options, right? Like they have recognizable names at welterweight that you could put in there with him. It doesn't have to be Shamil Musayev straight off the bat. Whereas with Dakota, it does feel as though like she's effectively cleared out the division. And when people are coming in to fight her now, we kind of have to go, well, who is this person? We have to find out all about them. Whereas I do think they're better placed with the likes of Thad because there are recognizable names there.
They will point to this and say, look, we created a star off the tournament. And they're right. They did. No one was talking about that before this tournament. But again, I'll go back to what we were talking about last week regarding Johnny Eblin and regarding Paul Hughes. Once names are made, now you have to be able to adapt and make the fights that people want. Now, I'm not saying that there's a fight that everyone wants to see regarding Thad, but okay, now you've made someone. You've created something. You've built a star. This is great. He's homegrown. He wants to be in PFL. He wants to fly the flag. Now you have to nurture that, and don't just say, okay, now he's going to go do this because our format dictates. No, forget about the damn format. Use the format to make these stars, and then once you have made these stars, now you get to do whatever the hell you want with them, which is why Costello is a star or a potential star that you have made. Rebook him against Johnny Eblen. Paul Hughes is a star that you have made or at least elevated. Rebook him against Usman Nurmagomedov. Now Thad, okay, now you have an opportunity to make something out of him. Don't just put him in there against someone because that guy, if that's the direction that they're going to go in, because that guy won the other tournament. I don't even know. I don't even know if that is that even the way this pyramid works? Does the last year tournament winner fight this tournament winner?
It's very confusing.
Did
It's very
just want to make
confusing.
a quick correction. The chat called us out for being Bellator casuals. The last Bellator
I had a feeling.
welterweight champion
Yeah.
was Ramazan Kurmagomedov.
Yes, I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Even when I said it, it didn't
Yeah.
sound right because I remember that was on the last show, I think.
Yeah, that's on us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Kurmagomedov bet Jason Jackson. He beat him.
Yes, yeah. I thought you said bet
Yeah. Did you say
We
bet?
say that in Ireland. Yeah, we do say that in Ireland. Yeah.
instead of beat. You
Yeah,
dropped the
He
eggs?
fucked up. We can move on. Yeah.
No, we do. We say it often. I've had this conversation with so many Americans.
Oh, you dropped the
You
egg.
bet the shit out of him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Anyway,
It's not correct, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
James Tahuno?
I'm sorry.
this is good. This is exciting. They need more homegrown guys. They need more people that are proud to be fighting for Bellator, that want to do the media, that want to fly the flag, that want to do the PR. And he seems to have everything. Like he's got the personality, he's got the fighting style, he's got the backstory. Very personable guy. I've enjoyed talking to him. We're going to have him on in a bit as well. So, yeah, this is good. The other tournament final was Jesus Pinedo against Movlid Khaibulev, and that fight was won by Movlid. Here's some of the action.
Big
Khabib-
win for him, man. Jesus was red hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Khabib was in
He's
his
a good.
corner.
He's a favorite too, right?
Jesus was the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I am a little surprised by that. Movlid, like
Yeah,
when
I
he
was
fights,
too.
he wins. Like that is.
I'm actually shocked. I thought you guys made a mistake.
No.
He was the favorite.
He was the favorite.
Jesus
Wow.
Pinedo.
Yeah,
He was on
Pinedo.
a
Well, to
crazy
be-
run, bro. He was knocking everybody out.
That's the thing. His recent run was absolutely spectacular and full of finishes, and he's looked like a guy. But like Movlid, when he gets in the cage, he wins fights. Like sometimes it's dicey.
Savage.
This one wasn't particularly like this. This was kind of his fight.
I like how Khabib just gave him the belt.
Oh yeah.
Like he worked for
No,
the
this
company.
is another one of those Dagestanis that's like
Good move
yeah.
by Don Davis.
No, I mean
Will
like
he
it
ever
wasn't like one of the PFL
Yeah,
officials.
they didn't wrap
That's
it
what I'm
around.
saying. I think it
Yeah.
was a good move by Donnie's D.
Sure.
Shout out Double D.
Yo, KN, get up there.
Get
bro.
out there. Khabib was in the tri-state area because this fight happened in Atlantic City, and he did drop the nugget that it appears as though JDM versus Islam is going to be at Madison Square Garden. Who told you that first? Who told you that first? Every single one of the fights that I told you about on this program have fallen in the slots. Pereira versus Ankalaev to October the 4th. Aspinall against Cyril Gane October 25th, and JDM versus Islam in New York City. That's the fight for this town. You guys like that? Is that MSG worthy?
Love it. Yeah, it's Islam Makhachev, man.
It's JDM.
It is also JDM, of course.
I
but
love that fight.
Islam is one
Yeah.
of the biggest stars the promotion
Islam
has.
moving up to 170.
Ooh. Are we
This
going
is the
to
fight?
skip the watch party, be in the building for it?
Hell yeah. In case you missed it, here's you guys think Khabib is going to get banned for leaking this news, for ruining the surprise? Because
Absolutely.
he seemed like a bit of a renegade when he broke the news to the crowd. Here it is, in case you missed it.
Promise us. Be quiet, please. I think the manager. He's now upset because I give information, like. But this is his deal with UFC. I don't deal with UFC. This is his problem. But we have deal with them. He's gonna fight in Madison Square Garden, and they say yes.
There it is.
Fair play.
Beautiful.
As first reported by Khabib Nurmagomedov.
JDM
like that.
making his second trip to New York City.
Second trip, yes. Who's the favorite going into that one?
That's a good
I wonder.
question, actually.
Islam.
It's got to be Islam.
You think so?
I
It's not
think-
moving up to
gotta be.
170.
Yeah, I would
Close
imagine.
though, no?
The pound for pound number
No,
one.
I
Yeah,
don't think it will be.
he'll
I don't think it will be close.
You don't think it will be close?
Minus 300 or something.
250, 300.
Let's see.
Islam, you think he's fought at 170 before?
That's a little solo shot.
Yeah.
You love that. By the way,
In his
Please-
entire life, like he walks around that.
do me a favor. Every time Connor's looking something up, go solo shot on him.
All right, I got it. Final guesses? Everybody go
I
final
said in the
guesses for me?
253 range.
I said 300.
I'm going.
Minus 300.
Really?
Minus 250. No.
Oh.
I'm tallying the votes.
Yeah. 175.
Minus 175. The number is minus 265 Islam Makhachev. Jack Della
Well done,
Maddalena
Rick.
plus
There we go.
225.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's the number one pound for pound. If
Also,
you-
just floating out there, Wiley Zhang minus 140 against Valentina Shevchenko.
Ooh, minus 140.
favorite coming up too.
That's two favorites. Historically, the person coming up isn't the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the Islam case, he is the number one pound for pound. If he were not able to be welterweight champion, that would be a significant hit to his case to being the number one pound for pound, right? The expectation is like, if you're the number one pound for pound, you should be able to move up and get that belt. So I think it makes a lot of sense that he'd be the favorite.
JDM gonna have a case for fighter of the year if he wins that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Is he the
And
fighter
I
of the
love
year?
that Craig Jones thing. I love
I
the
think it'll
idea
be-
that he's...
I think it'll be between him and Merab.
What if Magomed wins?
2 wins
No.
over Alex.
Not bad.
Wait,
Not
but for
bad.
Merab, that'll be three wins. Merab would be first. Okay, here's the thing.
Morales front runner.
If Merab goes 3-0, but JDM goes 2-0, who gets
you
the
have
nod?
You have a little Ilya Alex of last year.
Who gets the nod?
Man, taking out the number one pound for pound. That's tough. Bilal was also on like a 12 fight win streak.
Yeah.
Man. I think Merab gets the... I don't know. The win over Islam. It also depends on how he beats Islam,
Yeah.
right? If he knocks him out or something.
Yeah.
We can have that conversation if they both retain their belts.
Very excited. Very
Sure.
excited about this now.
Magomed
Just even
too.
talking about it.
If Magomed has 2 wins over Pereira and JDM has the 2 wins.
Oh, I'm going JDM.
JDM?
JDM for sure, because Alex is no longer as valuable a win on your resume the second time. The first time, 100%. The
Sure.
second time, not as much.
I also think JDM would have probably the 2 most impressive wins of the year.
If Magomed has 2 wins, JDM loses, but Pantoja has 2 wins.
What about Ilya Taporia, though?
Merab. I mean, not talking about Merab.
Ilya
here,
only,
so-
has, Ilya only has the Charles right now with no fight book.
Yeah,
What about
Ilya's
this- what if he
only-
What
gets
about
one
DDP?
more in,
If
though?
DDP
Ooh.
beats
Fuck,
Hamzat.
DDP.
that'd be 2 wins
Shit.
too.
Yeah, Strickland and Hamzat. Oh, it's going to be tasty.
I like this.
What if Hamzat wins and we just give it to him on one?
Here's the thing: if everyone
out
has
better
the
than
2
you.
wins, if everyone has the 2 wins, but Merab has the 3, does Merab get the nod?
It depends on
At
what
least
Beat
happens.
Nurmagomedov, which is
At
like 2
least,
wins.
yes. Like beat an undefeated Umar, O'Malley again, and then of course, it's going to be tasty. It's going to be spicy.
If JDM ices Islam,
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
it's going to be tough to
All
hold him
right.
second.
Let's just have him defend the belt first. Like we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
ISIS.
Lads, I am fucking
Puts his
buzzing for
chin in
Islam
the
v
7th
JDM
row of
now.
MSG.
Cannot fucking wait for that
and I can
fight.
tell people the very early, embryonic stages early. So I'm talking like literally, the night of what is it called? Consummation?
Oh, conception.
Conception.
Where are we going with this?
What's consummation?
Kind of similar, but it's called
Consummate is
Earl-
consummating the
No,
marriage.
for
Yeah.
the
for
marriage,
for,
right?
for a Helwani Roadshow that weekend. So if you're coming to New York for Islam versus JDM,
Oh my
Wow.
God.
please.
Wow.
I'm saying early
We're
stages.
gonna do it. We're gonna do a
No,
live
wow! Not worth a wow.
We're going to a live. We're gonna do a live show, and I'm gonna go to my first pay per view.
Consummation, early consummation, early.
This is me officially putting in
Conception.
for my time off request.
You're going to that one.
Conception.
That's the one you want
MSG.
of all the ones.
MSG.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I guess maybe I should fly to Abu Dhabi for Aspinall.
oh yeah, it's a good stretch right there for the UFC. All right, so speaking of events in tri-state area, can we talk about this now? I've waited long enough. I wanted to whet the appetite of the MMA hardcores, but the biggest event of the weekend obviously was SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium. I was lucky enough to attend the Saturday event. A friend of mine invited me, and I was very excited to go with my kids. Now, in case you're wondering regarding the illness and whatnot, I was pretty much like
Oh yeah, you were shaking hands.
I was drinking out of like a
you were coughing into
freaking
the
NyQuil.
complimentary chicken tenders.
I was walking in
Yeah.
there with like a flask of NyQuil. I was just like, don't mind me, guys.
Unknown
don't mind
illness spreads to attendees of WWE SummerSlam. I'm reading this on CNN right now. Wow.
Two nights. That was debated, criticized by the likes of me and many, many others. SummerSlam was everything that WrestleMania wasn't. SummerSlam was a smashing success. It was such a big success. It was so much fun. It was so good that I think it validated forever doing 2 nights, because I think they really had to knock it out of the park in order to let people know, no, like, this isn't going to be like your mundane PLE. This isn't going to be like your run-of-the-mill. Not saying that they tried to do that. No one ever tries to put out a mundane product, but it was so good and had so many big wow moments that now forever they can point, at least for the next 5 or so years, point back to this and be like, no, this is why it makes sense. This is why it is needed. Because night 1 ended with a shock, with a surprise, and night 2 ended with a shock, with a surprise. Night 1 ended with CM Punk defeating Gunther in a fine match, in a fun match. It was entertaining. CM Punk wins the belt for the first time in God knows how long. It was since the last time he was in WWE. He's celebrating, and then all of a sudden, there's Seth Rollins. Now, Seth Rollins injured his knee at Saturday night's main event just a couple of weeks ago, and everyone thought it was a torn ACL. Everyone thought he was out. They were playing it up. He filled in for Rich Eisen on his podcast talking about the injury. His wife, Rebecca Quinn, a.k.a. Becky Lynch, was posting videos of Seth walking around with their daughter on crutches. Then slowly but surely, here's the video in question. People started to think, like, why is there not a lot of information? I'll be honest. People were texting me. Our good friend Tim Simpson threw out a theory to me on text on Thursday or Friday. I think Seth comes back. I'm like, no way. Did you see the way he landed? Did you see that injury? There's no way. That looked 100%. I got worked. I even texted Becky herself and said, how's Seth doing? I'm so sorry. I got worked. And then he shows up. And by the time he showed up and he threw the crutches away, he threw the brace away, we all knew what was going to happen. He cashes in the briefcase, just like he did 10 years ago at WrestleMania. He beats up CM Punk, and then he wins the belt. It was incredible. It was great theater. It was shades of Kevin Nash in the what's the thing, the in the wheelchair, and he had his foot up in a cast, and then he just walked out of it. Of course, that was kind of mocked. This wasn't. It was unbelievable, and it set the tone for night 2, because we all knew night 2, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, what's going to happen. And on Friday, they pretty much had John Cena cut a promo in which he stated, like, the old me is back. It was pretty much their way of letting everyone know, come Sunday, it's the old John Cena. It was pretty much their way of letting everyone know, like, we're pulling the plug on this John Cena heel turn. And you know what? I'm happy they did, because it was a disaster. It didn't work. It didn't work from the get-go. What did I say right after WrestleMania? I gave it some time. Initially, the turn, Elimination Chamber, I said, not as big as Hogan, but a great moment. Where's it going to go with The Rock? Where's it going to go with Travis Scott? Like, we were excited about it, no doubt about it. Once WrestleMania came and went, it wasn't working. Rock didn't show up. There was no payoff. The Travis Scott thing was weird. It felt like he was acting. It felt like he didn't have him in him. And it felt like the people didn't want to boo him. It felt like the people didn't want to hate on the guy in his swan song. And so fast forward to this, it's almost like they course corrected. It's Cena Rhodes. This time they have the great moment. They hug it out. No heel tactics. Clean win. He sails off into the sunset. 4 months left. Solid match. Thought it went a little long, but it was very fun. It was enjoyable. He looked great. Cody looked great. They looked like superstars. Everyone went home happy. It was amazing. But they 100% course corrected. Cena's no longer a heel. And it's weird that this comes out at around the same time as WWE Unreal, which I've now watched 4 out of the 5 episodes, like 4.5, in large part due to the fact that I was sick as a dog. Thank you very much, Frank. And I have to say, it's much ado about nothing. Yeah, you're getting to see a lot, but it's very calculated. It's extremely calculated. Like everyone, Josh Barnett, all the old timers with their hot takes about this ruining the business, you couldn't be more wrong. They're showing you, and they're showing you just enough to where it's like, oh, wow, this is awesome. But I was talking to a friend of mine who's the mother of my daughter's best friend. She knows nothing about wrestling. Her husband told her to watch it. She's like, oh, now I get it, and now I'm into it. Oh, Chelsea Green is cool. Cody Rhodes is cool. It's for those people. So like this idea that it's going to ruin the business or that it's exposing the deep, dark secrets of the business is hogwash. It's not doing any of that. It will only attract more viewers. But anyway, that coming out, which a big part of it is the heel turn, around the same time that they pretty much pull the plug on the heel turn is interesting, but it was 1,000% the right move. No one wants to see John Cena as a heel. It didn't work out. Whatever happened with The Rock, whatever happened with Travis Scott, whatever, like, well, we may never know, but clearly something happened because they're nowhere to be seen right now. Pull the plug, course correct, allow the last 4 months, if it in fact is the last 4 months of his WWE run, to be him being celebrated. And then what happens is it looks like they're about to go off the air. It looks like it's a nice, fun, beautiful, heartwarming goodbye. And you hear that's not his music. I botched that, but you get the point. The Beast is back. Brock Lesnar is back. Here comes the pain for the first time in 2 years. SummerSlam 2023. Brock Lesnar, who for a while was persona non grata in WWE because he was named in the lawsuit from Janelle Grant accusing Vince McMahon of shocking, disgusting allegations. Brock not a defendant. Brock not being sued, but named as a participant in all of this. WWE, and rightfully so, distanced themselves from him. I always thought at some point he would come back, and here he is coming back. Much to the chagrin of a lot of fans online, much to the chagrin of a lot of WWE media, wrestling media, who also noted that they got rid of the press conferences this week, the post-event press conferences, which I always felt didn't really add anything, which I always felt were very clunky. They're now doing their own post-show, which to me, like, everything that they do is controlled and everything that they do is produced the way in which they want it to be produced. I don't think they need to do the press conferences. Did they get rid of the press conferences because he was coming back on this weekend? Who knows? I don't know. They did not address that. It would seem like a good time to do it so you wouldn't have to answer it. But I was not, like, I see a lot of people almost offended by them getting rid of the press conferences. I don't think they added anything. The questions were never that great. The interactions were a little bit clunky and awkward. And then you'd sometimes have people ask questions and you'd have characters in character, you know, not trying to break kayfabe, and it just made for an awkward dance. The most interesting stuff came from the interactions with Triple H because he's sort of serving as the Dana White of WWE. He's the figurehead. He's the guy. That's the way they're positioning him, as they should. It makes the most sense to do that. He plays that role perfectly. But I'm not surprised. It always felt to me like they were going to get rid of it at some point. And so did they get rid of it on this particular weekend because he was coming back? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out one of these days. But I also think that there's no way that they didn't, from a legal standpoint, cross all the T's, dot all the I's, make sure to a T that they were in the clear for him to come back. They had to make sure that they were in the clear legally for him to come back. Like, there's no way. It's not like they just jumped the gun and said, like, oh, let's just take our chances here. And I believe this is a statement from Janelle Grant, who's the one who filed the lawsuit against Vince McMahon. Her representative issued this statement to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. Does a great job. Far too long, abuse was allowed to thrive under WWE's leadership. Instead of righting this wrong, WWE has done nothing to ensure those responsible are held accountable. This attempt to sweep misconduct under the rug will backfire. We look forward to the full set of facts, including those about Mr. Lesnar, coming out in a court of law where they belong. But in the meantime, we refer you back to Janelle Grant's updated complaint, which outlines in detail the abuse she endured by McMahon and others while employed at WWE. And so a lot of people are upset about him coming back. In the midst of this, the lawsuit is still ongoing. It has not been settled. It has not been resolved. And yeah, we don't know how it's going to play out. I just feel confident saying they must have. I saw Dave Meltzer report this, that it was around 4 weeks ago that the WWE legal team gave the okay for him to return. Was I surprised to see him back yesterday? Sure. But I always felt like Brock Lesnar was going to come back. Was anyone like blown away that he came back? Like, did anyone think that they would sever ties with him forever?
No.
Right?
Well, no, unless something new developed. And since nothing new had developed to that point, I was not surprised that he'd be back.
Right.
But now, like, just based on this statement here from Janelle Grant's rep, like, maybe there is something more. So we'll see. But without anything new to discuss or report, I am not shocked at all that Brock Lesnar is back.
This is from the New York Post. It's the former UFC champion's first time on the company's programming since his name came up in allegations made against the former WWE boss McMahon, made by ex-employee Janelle Grant. She accuses him of sexual assault and sex trafficking. Grant filed the suit in January of 2024. Lesnar's last appearance was in the summer of 23. The original complaint did not include Lesnar's name, only referencing a world-famous athlete and former UFC heavyweight champion who McMahon was trying to sign at the time. Lesnar, who is not a defendant in the case, was officially named by Grant in federal court in an amended complaint in February. Grant accused McMahon of asking her to create personalized sexual content for Lesnar in July of 2021 during his contract negotiations. She also alleges McMahon flew Lesnar to Connecticut in 21 for a sexual encounter that ended up not happening. McMahon's attorney, Jessica Rosenberg, called Grant naming Lesnar in the suit a publicity stunt in February. And yeah, essentially since that point, he was persona non grata. And so now he's back. And so yes, I would imagine that someone would have asked, Paul Levesque this question at the post presser, and maybe this is why, but I know that they were not enamored with those press conferences. Like I knew that they were going to come to an end. Again, the timing isn't great, obviously, but I don't think that they were as crucial to the product, or at least like the wheel spinning, as they are in boxing or MMA or NFL or NBA. It always felt like just like an awkward dance. I don't know really how to quite describe it.
Well, I mean,
has there been any memorable moments from a press conference, WWE press conference? Like, I'm trying to think of one. I know they were doing them, but I'm trying to think, like, was there ever a moment produced at one of these things where we're like, wow, this is...
Yeah, and
there was a CM Punk one that I remember going.
Well, there was the CM Punk one from AEW where he went off on everyone.
Yeah.
And truth be told, it's not like it's been happening for decades. It's probably like a last 3-4 years type of thing. The only real memorable moments, I would say, were clunky moments. Like when Paul Levesque was asked about the Vince McMahon case, or when Cody Rhodes was asked and he gave a great answer. Things like that. But like nothing where it was like, oh, wow, this gave us great insight. And again, let me just be clear. Like, I'm not defending them getting rid of the press conferences. I'm just telling you, I never really watched those and found them to be
valuable.
Well, the rules of engagement are completely different. They can literally sit there and lie to you.
Yeah.
Because it's part of an entertainment product.
Some are in character, some aren't in character.
But even if they were not in character, they can literally just lie to you, because what are the repercussions of that? There is no accountability on anything that's said in any of these press conferences, because it's not actually a press conference. It's part of an entertainment product. It is still part of the show that is going on, that is just continuing further into it. They can be fully not in character and then say, oh, well, the storyline changed, or this changed, or that changed. There's no actual factual based information that needs to be kind of like had in this setting. If WWE wanted tomorrow, they could replace these press conferences with a fully faked press conference where they have fake reporters asking fake questions to the characters, and it would be exactly the same level of credibility, because the people at the dais do not have any obligation to say something factual. So it's just this weird dance. Like, it just doesn't quite make sense.
If I were running WWE, what I saw this past weekend as far as the post shows are concerned, and I know that GC was locked in, I would lean more towards that than the press conference.
Sure.
There you can control the whole thing. You bring up who you want to bring up. You ask them whatever you want to ask them. You control the message. You go in a certain like kayfabe, non-kayfabe direction. There's a crowd behind you. Like, it's just a much better product.
Well, tell me if I'm right about this. It felt like a few years ago, let's call it 3 to 5 years ago, there was more of a wanting to be more a sports product And that has kind of dissipated, and now it is back to more of an entertainment product, right? The signing of a Cain Velasquez made a lot more sense when it was like, okay, we're going to go to a sports product. We're going to get a guy who's a real, actual fighter and say, okay, this guy's going to come in and deliver some damage to a guy like Brock Lesnar. Or the signing of Jimmy Smith as a fight broadcaster, or Morrow, or these people.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And so that feels like a product of a bygone era where this, like, we want to blur the lines between sports and entertainment is now like, hey, we're just doing entertainment and we don't necessarily need that part.
Yeah. Yeah, well said.
So
Did you guys enjoy SummerSlam?
I did not watch live.
I loved it. I check in, like, they showed a recap from WrestleMania, and it was like 4 months ago. I was like, wow. It's only 4 months since I watched WWE, and like when I check in on these like massive events, it's always wildly entertaining, and I don't feel like I have to be fully caught up with the storyline. I feel like you can just get caught up from a few tweets or highlights online.
100%.
I watched.
They do an amazing job of that. Like they
packages?
set the table just before,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh shit.
You could just be a major event watcher, and
That's pretty
there's
much
a
what
lot
I
of
am.
filler. You could be a hardcore fan and enjoy it all, but like you could just pop in every month or every like quarter and be
Fall.
okay. You know what I mean? This to me was infinitely better than WrestleMania.
No question about it. At the ending of WrestleMania, I was like,
Okay.
damn, that's it?
Yeah.
We're done?
Was the Cena thing WrestleMania when he
Yeah.
turned?
Yeah, what was
Yeah.
WrestleMania?
No,
Remind me.
I thought that
WrestleMania
was good, no?
so he turned at Elimination Chamber March
Yeah.
1st.
Oh, sorry.
And then he's bad guy leading up to WrestleMania.
Oh no, was that the Rock one?
Rock didn't show up.
No, there was no Rock.
Oh,
It was
we're all
was
like,
no
where's
payoff.
Travis Scott? At the end, we're like,
Yes.
where are all the
yeah,
people?
yeah.
It was Travis Scott. He beat Cody Rhodes. They went off, and then it was just like, and that's it. That's
That's
the
it.
scene from WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No
I was
closure.
actually,
Yeah.
Massive letdown.
because of the WrestleMania and nothing really crazy that happened, the Brock coming out caught me so off guard that it was like this huge shock. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
same.
And it was interesting because on Saturday Seth comes out, and in this current climate where everyone's like they're giving up too much, and I know there were some rumors out there, but I don't go on a lot of the websites. I've kind of taken.
Sorry, what's that mean, Ariel? They're giving up too much. What does that
Oh,
mean?
it's because of the Unreal stuff. They're giving it like
Okay,
they're blurring the lines too much. There's no kayfabe. There's no secrecy anymore. There's no surprises.
Okay.
All that stuff. I will admit I thought the Seth Rollins thing was a legit injury, and so for him to come out once he came out again, like I said, once he came out, I knew what was happening. But I was arguing with people like, no, of course. Like, did you guys see the way he fell? The way he fell looked like someone who had just severely injured their knee. And so for them to swerve us like that, and even like the thing with the daughter, the video, like using social media in that way, was great. It was fun.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
didn't know.
Until he dropped the crutches, I
Yeah,
thought he was actually injured.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 1000%,
same here.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, once he came out with Paul, I was like, oh, okay, they're doing this with
But
the briefcase.
no, I was like,
and the
They've
cat
brought
thing.
them out, they've brought guys out before just to cut the promo, so I get
Yeah.
that.
I thought it was like
That's just-
I thought it was like a fuck you, punk. I'm coming for your
yeah,
belt as
yeah.
soon as I'm healthy.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I was like, they're setting up the next thing.
But
But
if
they're not going to do
Ariel's
anything
just
right
a
now.
more
Nah, but if it's-
educated.
listen,
He's a
wrestling
nuanced
fan than
viewer.
us,
He's a
you know?
nuanced viewer.
if it's an ACL injury, like you wouldn't do that with 8 months left. You know what I mean? What's the point?
We aren't thinking on that level, mate. We aren't.
Yeah.
We're just going.
When he
there,
came
there,
out,
man.
I was like, oh.
By the
guys,
way-
I was trying to explain to my kids quickly, like, Seth Rollins is here. Forget about the traffic.
What they say?
They're like, okay, there's a guy outside giving Minimade, like free Minimade plans. Can we go get that?
Hey,
I was
Dad,
like,
that's where
wait,
Tyra's about to start.
Wait a second.
Shut up, Dad.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Wait a second. Seth, he's back. The innovator.
By the way, on the like giving up too much thing, it's all kayfabe. Even that is kayfabe. We have to stop pretending that like WWE is like willingly just letting people inside and not going to work them even
Yes.
via this thing.
Oh, I'm
It's
sure in
all
Unreal
work.
they're like, okay, we're going to do this in front of the cameras
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about the real
Yes,
shit.
100%.
And
Can
I'm
I tell you
okay with
something
that. I'm okay with that.
Something blew my mind in terms of this kayfabe stuff the other day. Our old friend Bill Simmons, a friend of yours, Ariel, friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's talking to Cody Rhodes, and he's talking about one of your favorites, Wrestling with Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
And then Cody says, "Yeah, but do you ever think that was all a work too?" And I was just sitting there going, "What the fuck?" Oh, it's like my mind is blown. Like, as in that documentary where we see, we don't see, but allegedly Vince McMahon takes a shot from Bret. You see him walking out all groggy, and I'm like, were they working us with that?
No, they weren't.
Crazy.
The crazier part to me of that interview, which was a fantastic interview, was when he said he doesn't himself know when kayfabe ends. When he said, one of the craziest questions he's ever been asked is like, how do you know like when you're out of kayfabe? And he's like, I don't. Like, sometimes I think I'm giving a genuine answer, and it's not. Like, he doesn't have an understanding of
this
where
goes back
that
to the
ends.
Hogan thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you were never talking to Terry Bollea. You were always talking to Hogan / Terry.
Is
when
there
you were
an
doing...
end point of these two characters? And it seems like Cody was basically like, he doesn't know if he has that.
And by the way, PT, you bring up a great point. Wrestling with Shadows came out in like '98. Beyond the Mat, which if you haven't seen Beyond the Mat, please go out. Like that's true, non-kayfabe, breaking kayfabe. And so the idea that Unreal is going to ruin the business, why? Just because WWE produced it or Netflix produced it in conjunction with WWE? Like, this stuff has been out already. We've seen the inner workings. Okay, maybe we didn't get like, oh, here's gorilla position and this is the guy talking to the referee. These are all just little things. I didn't enjoy SummerSlam less because I watched that 2 days prior. And I will say, for a kid, like, I'm not showing my kids that. Like, I think I might have said this last week. I was hiding it from them. I didn't want them to see that. And they asked me, like, oh, what's WWE Unreal? I'm like, oh, it's just a documentary. And that was enough. So I don't think that should be for kids. But if you're in your 30s, 40s, like, allow them to still enjoy it. Even though when I'm watching it with them, they're so annoying. What about that? That's not real. Oh, what about that? That didn't really hurt him. What about that? What about this? Oh,
man.
Like the whole time. I'm like, will you shut up already?
Come on.
Your Squid Game isn't Squid Game isn't real either. And like, well, it's not in front of people. They're not pretending like it's real. I'm like, no, it's pretending nothing, okay? It's just entertainment, for goodness sakes.
Bring GC and Rick next year, yeah? Fuck's sake.
Yeah, seriously. Even my daughters now, well, look at the skits. Why are they talking like that? And why is he standing there?
God.
And why does he hit him right there?
I'm
like,
They're haters.
I watched
They're
last
such
night
haters.
with the kid that like can never give wrestling like its full due. He's always just like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, credit to him, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then every time it looks fake, he's like, oh, it's just so fake. It's like, I know, man. I know.
I'm
You don't
glad
have
I
to
watched by myself.
It's better that way. It's
just
better
have
that way.
fun. Just have fun. Anyway, I thought they course corrected. I thought they did a great job. I thought it was infinitely better than WrestleMania. I can understand why people are upset over the Brock return. Let's see how that plays out. But the Seth thing to me was the highlight. I thought that was like wrestling at its finest. Injury on the product. We think he's out. He comes back. He cashes in. It's a shocker. That was good stuff. All right, let's move along and say hello to our first guest of the day. We always love talking to the money man himself, the great Renato Moicano. He is kind enough to join us first off here on this Monday. Hello, Renato. How are you, my friend?
What's up, Ariel? Very good. How about you, my friend?
Did you watch SummerSlam?
No, I don't even know what SummerSlam. I'm sorry.
I love it. The WWE.
No, I did not watch.
Now that you're Mr. TKO, you don't watch this stuff. You don't follow up.
Mr. TKO. No, I don't follow up on.
You only like the real stuff.
Man, yeah. I have the YouTube channel, so I'm pretty busy doing the MMA. Like losing money. Of course, I'm not losing money, but watching the fights and giving my picks and all that stuff, and doing MMA content, especially in Portuguese. So I have been pretty busy.
What about the UFC BJJ? You like that?
I did not watch.
Okay. What do you think? You think it's going to go well for them? You think they have something there?
I think UFC has so much money and like everything that they do, like Power Slap. Everybody hates Power Slap, but they keep doing. And I think if they doing it, it's because it's working. So they have so much money and so much like viewers and all that stuff. The market is. They can do whatever they want. So I think eventually gonna pay off. And I'm not sure, but I think they use that money to write off, so they put a lot of money on this stuff and they write off. So I think they will still doing, but I don't think people really like it, And let's be honest, jiu-jitsu is fucking boring. I am a jiu-jitsu guy, but I cannot watch jiu-jitsu. I would rather watch MMA.
Okay. Last time we saw you, Renato, was International Fight Week. What happened?
Ah, man, I lost. Dariush was better than me at the night. I got a little bit tired, and I was expecting to finish him in the first round. I almost did, but the motherfucker is strong. I thought he was old, but when he grabbed me, and I was not like, I think I was not prepared. And hats off to him. He did a good job. He was fucking dying over there. He was as tired as me, but he kept pushing. So congratulations to him.
Did he surprise you?
Yeah, he surprised me. He's stronger than I thought, on the grappling. He's a good grappler. And Ariel, let's be honest, I knew he was a tough, but that's the fucking game. I'm gonna talk shit. He's old, I'm old too. And I thought I would fucking steamroll him, but yeah, I did not. So it is what it is.
How much have you replayed that first round in your mind? Did you think that you had him?
I think I had him, but at the same time, I knew he was tough because I remember watching Charles Oliveira fight against him and was the same. But Charles Oliveira was smarter because he did not went for the trying to get his back because he's very slick on the ground. And I tried to get his back. I should have kept punching. But Ariel, again, I don't think too much about the past because it's gone. There is nothing that I can do, The only thing that I can do and that I did was learn, and the reality is I need to work on my takedown defense and I need to work on my cardio, and I have been doing that. I'm 36-year-old, motherfucker old as hell, but I still have a couple fights in UFC, and I want to perform better than the last time.
Have you started to think about the return?
Yes, this is up to the UFC, but I doing my homework. I don't know. I don't know if they want me in Brazil. I don't know if they want me in November. I don't have any talks right now with the UFC and the date of return. I just working on my conditioning and my takedown defense.
And how do you, like, at 36? Sometimes people say like you're either born with good cardio or you can't improve good cardio. This was the thing that people said about Conor McGregor for the longest time. Like, you can get bigger, you can get stronger, you can improve your wrestling, your takedowns, but the cardio is the cardio. Do you think at your age you can improve that?
I think I can improve that because, like, I got a fight in a short notice against Rafael dos Anjos, and I did all 5 rounds, and I never had cardio issues. I did not have cardio issues, never in my whole career. I always went to the distance. Before I start to finish, I used to win in decisions. So I don't know what happened on that fight. I feel good on the training camp. I feel the best that I ever felt in the training camp, and I feel good in the fight on the fight day. But I think on the second round, he took me down like really early. And then I say, okay, I'm not going to try to stand up because last time that I tried to stand up, Islam Makhachev choked me, So I thought, okay, I'm going to rest this round. I'm going to try to defend myself. But that was a problem. I think on the third round, I was too tired and frustrated, So on the third round, I don't think it was a gas tank issue. I think my mind was not over there. I was not 100% committed to the fight. I was not ready to kill. I was not ready to, I should have went over there on my shield and like Nicolas Mott. I don't know if you remember his fight.
Yeah.
Like he lost, but he went out on his shield, and I think. I have to work on my mindset, like a third round like that, the fight was very close because I think I had won the first, he won the second round, and the third was just, he wanted more, the fight, he wanted more, and I think that's the problem. So I need to work on my cardio, but I need to work on this, on the third round like that, is kill or be killed.
You want Michael Chandler next?
I don't know. I think Michael Chandler, I think that fight will be great, but I think he will still wait for the McGregor. I don't think that's happening, but I think he will wait for that.
So if not him, who makes sense?
I don't know, Ariel. I have thinking about this for a long time, but guess what? I don't think I'm fighting up in the rankings, and so I don't know. I don't really know.
UFC's coming back to Brazil in October. Do you like that idea?
I like that idea, I like that idea, but they did not ask me yet to fight in Brazil. So, but I think I will get back in Brazil or November, right? I think in New York.
Yeah.
But up to them. I'm not in a position to to force anything. You know, I just want to work on the stuff that I am working and see what's next. Because right now I don't see a clearly opponent. What about you? Do you think a matchup will be good?
I think it's a little soon. I think we need to see some fights play out a little bit. You fought just a bit over a month ago, so let's see. You never know. Also, there's the ATT guys. I was thinking maybe the loser of the maybe if Rufi loses to BSD, but I don't know if you would want to fight him. Would you want to fight him?
Depends. I don't think that the card is on the table. I don't think Ruffy is losing to BSD.
You don't think he's losing?
Not any chance. I think he will knock BSD out in the first round.
Oh wow!
That's
in the first round.
That's what I think. In the first round, I think Ruffy he's the future of the lightweight division. He's pretty good. I know he was not tested. He was not tested, but because a lot of stuff was going on. Bobby Green's not an easy guy to knock out like that. He did on the first round. Of course, Bobby Green's a little bit older right now, but I think Ruffy is the real deal.
Okay, so let me ask you, like in terms of your self-confidence, this year compared to last year, right now couldn't be more different, right? Last year you were on fire. You're beating BSD in France and all that stuff, right? How are you feeling about yourself, about the state of your career at this point?
No, I'm feeling great, even though I lost, man, I like to compete, I lost my last fight, but in the end of the day, I was a little bit sad because I did not push the trigger on the third round, but that makes me want to train even harder and to get back and get wins, and in the end of the day, I lost to Islam and then Dariush, so Dariush is not a good loss, but
I don't think it's the worst loss. I don't think it's the worst loss.
No, it's not the worst, but I mean, he was coming off 2 losses only to Charles and Sarukian, so I don't want to take anything from him, but I was expecting to beat him, and I wish I did, because now I will be in a better position on the division, but that's my job, Ariel. We cannot forget about that. It's that way that I make money. So I have to keep winning and I have to keep improving. And the way that you improve is like that. I watch my fight, I see what I have to work on, and I'm working on that right now.
Okay, so I have to ask you about money. We have to talk about money, Renato.
Yeah.
You didn't only make news over the past month or so because of the fight, but it was because on your podcast, the Show Me the Money podcast, the great Show Me the Money podcast. Shout out to the YouTube channel. Here you are saying that you turned down the settlement money. And this created a whole uproar, Renato. Everyone weighed in on this. Everyone. Brendan Schaub weighed in on it. All the media weighed in on it. Other fighters were writing you and whatnot. Can we start from the beginning, if possible? Okay, so there's this class action lawsuit, and it's settled. And every fighter who was competing during this period of time, I believe 2010 to 2017, if my memory serves me correct, is entitled, based on how many times you fought and where you were in the pecking order, X, Y, and Z, entitled to X amount. To the best of my knowledge, up until you came out, none of the active fighters had said no. I think there may have been fighters who were MIA and didn't do the proper things to go on the website to get their money, but you came out and said, I essentially chose not to take the money. Is that accurate?
That's accurate, yeah.
Okay. When did you make that decision? And was that an instant decision for you, or did you think about it? Did you ponder it?
No, I pondered. Of course, that was good money. I don't know exactly how much money I would make it off that, but when they started to ask me about that, the lawsuit, and I saw the lawsuit and I read what was about it, and I have a few points to make it clear right now. So
please,
the lawsuit, what they want to do, they want to label UFC as a monopoly, right? So they want to say, hey, UFC is a monopoly. They have not the fair practices, and that's the way they keep the money low to the fighters. And so the fighters went they file a lawsuit to label UFC as a monopoly, okay? Mm-hmm. So my name was over there because all the fighters at the time, they were there. But what that means? That means that I will be saying the money that UFC gave me on the beginning of my career was not enough. But that's a lie, Ariel. Do you think UFC, when they first signed with UFC, they are happy or they are said? I'm asking to you. So when UFC goes to a fighter and say, hey, this is your contract, you're gonna make 10 plus 10. I don't know any fighter that went to the UFC thinking that was a bad business,
Yeah.
at the beginning of their career. Everybody's happy. So if I went to this lawsuit and say, hey, UFC cheated me, UFC was doing me wrong, I was lying, because after the day that my son born, that was the happiest day of my life. I don't even care about how much money I would get from the UFC. I just want to be in the UFC. So first thing I want to say is I was happy with the money that I got. So if I got this money now, I would say I was not happy, and that's not right. And the second thing is, most of the fighters, you would agree with me that they were happy when they got this money from the UFC, from the first purses, okay?
Yes.
And the second point is, the whole lawsuit stuff was based on UFC is a monopoly. I think they should treat the athletes better. I think they should pay more money. And so they filed the lawsuit with the lawyers. They went to the court, and at one point they say, no, let's settle this down. And they do agreement with the fighters in UFC, and they say, no, we're gonna give you 300 and I don't know how much millions, and they dropped the lawsuit. So that was not about UFC being a monopoly. That was the way for the lawyers and the fighters to get money. Because if that was about UFC being a monopoly, they would say, no, I don't want the money. I want UFC labeled as a monopoly. Let's go to the court and let the judge decide if this is a monopoly or not. But no, they choose the money. And what that means, based on their actions, I don't think that was about doing good for the athletes. I think the lawyers, they took more than 20%. That means they took more money than most of the fighters, if not all the fighters. So 20% of 300 million is a lot of money. So in the end of the day, this is for the lawyers to make a quick cash, for the fighters to grab that money that they didn't deserve. You know why? Because they don't respect the contract. I believe a society should be guided by life, should be respect life, liberty, and private property. And once you agree with the contract, you should be able to deal with the consequences, deal with your acts. And if I get this money, I would be lying, because I was happy. That was more than enough for me. And the third thing that I want to say to you is, Ariel, do you think? At least I don't think I need a judge. I don't think I need a justice system to say what is right and what is wrong, because I have been thinking on this a lot. Because a lot of people on the internet I saw saying like, Moicano is really dumb because the judge decide that the money is for the fighters. But that's not true. That was agreement. So the fighters in the UFC, they want an agreement. So the judge didn't decide anything. And even if they did, that's not means that is moral, because legality and morality, that is nothing to do with each other, because we know back in the day in America, you used to have slaves, and that was legal. And you had a document meaning that that slave is from this guy, and that was legal. The same thing with prohibition. Back in the day, you cannot drink alcohol because the law says it's illegal. But is that immoral to drink alcohol? Of course not. It's the same thing with marijuana. Is the same thing with a lot of stuff. So just because a judge or the justice system decide that is right and that is wrong, that doesn't mean that is right and that's wrong. I live by a law. I live by a code. I live by the natural law, and I believe every individual should be free and should be protecting his life, his liberty, and his freedom. And government should not be deciding this kind of thing. I believe in free market. I believe people should make their own decision. And I don't believe giving the government to power to decide what's right and what's wrong is the right thing to do. I don't believe at all that. So like I say, I'm a free market guy. I don't agree with everything that UFC does, but I don't believe UFC is a monopoly. Why UFC is not a monopoly? Because there is no legal barriers for other shows. We have PFL, we have Bellator, and what happened? Why UFC is not a monopoly? Because there is no laws that don't let another competition comes in. The thing what happened is UFC is so much better than the competition, and they created that. If we're talking about MMA now, if you have your show, if I have my house and everything that I have, it's because UFC created a sport, and they are way better than the competition. That's why they are succeeding, you know. So I think a label UFC is a monopoly is like you say, Khabib Nurmagomedov was just too good, you know. He's just too good. He's beating all the competition, so we're not gonna allow him to shoot for double legs, just single legs. So when you label a company as a monopoly, essentially what you're doing is you taking the ability of him then you're taking the ability of the company being efficient, and UFC is very efficient. And again, I know I don't agree with everything they do. UFC has a huge market share because they are better than competition, and that makes a pressure in the side of the fighters because we don't have another shows like when PFL just show up on the scene and they were offering money, and that's good for the fighters. And I believe that. I just don't believe you let the justice and a judge and the government decide what's a monopoly and what's not. You know, eventually, if the market is free, eventually the competition will arise, and UFC is abusing the power as a company. The employees and the people will stop to watch. You know, if you're not satisfied with the fighters' pay, don't watch UFC. If you don't agree with the terms of the contract, don't fucking sign the contract. You know, you're free to choose. You are free to choose, but most of the people, they don't want to read about that. They don't want to hear about that, you know. They want to say, now, government has to do everything for you, and it has to decide, and UFC is a monopoly, and we need to take him down. If you don't like, don't watch. If you don't feel they have the standards that you like, don't sign the contract. It's easy as that, you know. And other than other shows, I don't think other shows are paying more than UFC. That's the
Okay,
truth,
so let
you
me
know?
jump in, and I appreciate the passion and I appreciate the sentiment very much. Honestly, I want to just ask a couple of follow-ups if I can. Since you came
Okay.
out with this, did any other active UFC fighters from this period message you? You don't have to tell me their names if they did, and say I agree with you and I did the same. Did you hear from anyone?
No, I don't hear for anything. I just hear a lot of people calling me dumb,
Yeah,
and
okay.
maybe I am, I am dumb.
No,
You
I
know?
saw all the people criticize. I didn't know if someone messaged you privately and said, you know what, I agree with you. Can I ask, because I think you
I think
quoted.
Michael Chandler, right? I think Michael Chandler, even though I have been trashing him for a long time, he was the only one that say, "Hey, why people are criticizing him?" And I believe
He was, but he was not in
understood.
that period though, so he wasn't subjected to the money. But I understand at
Yeah.
least he was supporting you. Do you know how much you would have gone?
No,
You had quoted
no,
200 million, but
no.
then others said it would have been less, or no, 200,000, excuse me. But others said there would have been less. Do you have any idea if it was 10,000, 50,000? No idea.
I
It
have
never
no
got to
idea.
that point. How do you not
No,
know?
they never got to that point, you know, because on the beginning, another fighters, they were talking to me and say, "Hey, that's wrong. That's wrong. Why are you going to take that money?" And they say, "No, because it's free, because UFC already gave that money, you know." And that's true, you know. And I have, and
So
I
that
have
would be the
people from,
biggest thing. Like ultimately, when it comes to the settlement, do you recognize the fact that the UFC came to an agreement with the fighters and said, "Look, we're okay with this"? And I think other, UFC officials were asked this. Were like, "You will not be penalized. You will not We're at peace with this."
yeah, but that's my other point. You know, I have a list of points doing,
Yes.
and I saw a lot of people say, "Hey, Moicano, you want to be in the good wise with the
Yes.
UFC?" I cannot care less about UFC. They are a company. You know, they want profit. And how you do profit? You maximize your gains and you cut the expenses, you know? And UFC fighters are expenses. We saw like the Silvas and all the champions. Now, UFC doesn't care about them. And that's okay. That's business. I'm not friend UFC. I am a, like they say, I'm not employee, and I'm not saying that I want to be or I don't want not to be, but this is just about money. Is my work, you know. I'm not planning to be friends with UFC after I'm done. I'm just doing things based on what I believe and my principles, and I don't expect people that don't have principles to understand me. You know, right or wrong, I'm doing what I believe is right, and I believe if I take that money, I would say let me tell something. People from the UFC call me and say, "Hey, Moicano," I'm not going to tell you any names, but they say, "Moicano, take the money because it's better you take the money than people that feel the lawsuit, you know, because you have the right mentality, but the money is gone, and that's okay. And I say, hey, I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing this for the UFC. I'm doing this because I truly believe that I signed the contract because I want, and I was happy, and nobody was taking advantage of me. Before the UFC, I was a nobody. Nobody knew me. I built my career on the UFC, and I read the contract, and I say, okay, they can have the image, they can have this, they can have that, and I'm gonna sign that for this money, But people nowadays, they don't think about that. They think, hey, if I can change what I say just to have beneficial, just to have like beneficial gains, just to make more money, I'm okay with that. I'm not. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's just. And I like to think in 10 years, 15 years, I'm gonna tell my son what I did, and that was the right thing to do.
So that's very impressive. So, and again, you don't have to tell us who, but people from the UFC, once this came out, said to you, hey, take
on
it.
the same day, take the money. And again, I say, hey, I'm not doing this for you guys. Don't be. I love UFC, of course. People have to understand that I'm a fighter, but I'm a fan of UFC too. I have their YouTube channel. I talk UFC. My whole life is about MMA, and UFC is the best promotion. But again, I'm not changing anything to be in a good wise UFC. Again, I cannot care less about UFC because UFC doesn't care about the fighters. It's simple as that. So again, I'm not.
What do you mean by that when you say that UFC doesn't care about the fighters? That's a big statement.
Let me. You're trying to twist my words. I know, not twist my words.
No, Renato. Did you hear what I said about?
Let me ask you something.
Wait, before you go. Wait, please. Before you continue, did you hear what I said about this story?
No, I did not hear because again.
Okay, but let me just tell you. I said that I think you're an incredibly smart person and an intelligent person, and we all have to respect your feelings. Whether I think it's right or wrong, I said I have the utmost respect for Renato as a person. You're very smart. The way you have educated yourself, the way you think about business, even if I don't agree with everything that you say, you clearly take the time to research and learn and read. And so that's why you have my respect. So then when you say you think I'm trying to twist your words, hurts me.
Sorry.
I just want you to clarify or expand on the sentiment because people will take that and run with it. So that's why I ask you for the follow-up.
Okay, so
I'm not trying to get you in trouble here.
Okay. So what I want to say is not UFC. When I say UFC, I'm not saying about Dana White. No, I'm saying about the business. The business care about money because they have investors. They have people that want to care about money. So they don't see fighters as persons. They see as assets. That they're going to use. And once this guy is not giving the return, they're going to release. And again, you cannot expect a business, a company to be your friend. But I want to make I don't know how to say that in English, but I want to make an example, So let's say Ariel Helwani, you have a lot of employees, and you have people that do the podcast with you. And 10 years ago, you have a guy that nobody knew, and he wants to do the podcast with you, and you say, okay, let's do a contract over here. I'm going to use 10% of my profit. You're going to sign the contract, and 10 years later, 15 years later, the guy say, hey, Ariel did wrong with me. He was taking advantage of me. Now I want 50% of the company. If he went through you and say, hey, Ariel, let's discuss this business. But the guy went to the justice and say, hey, I want more money because I believe that was not legal. And he had signed the contract, I had a company in Brazil before. I have a gym before, and it happened to me before, stuff like that. I don't want to go to this whole case. But what I believe is when you sign the contract and you agree with the terms, you cannot sue the company and you cannot say UFC is a monopoly because I don't think UFC is a monopoly, even though they have a huge market share. And again, I don't think that's good, but I think that should be fixed with more competition and not like justice in making UFC as the business less efficient. That's my whole
How
point.
do you feel about the fighters who took the money?
That's not up to me to decide. I can talk about myself. I don't think it's right, but again, that's a free country. The beautiful thing about America is everybody can choose. So that's not me to decide. I
Fair.
don't think that's right. I don't think that's
Okay,
right.
that's fair.
Do you think it's right? That's up to you.
Well, I mean, everyone's weighing in on your decision to not take the money, so I was wondering what you thought of
And
the
that's
people who took
okay,
the money.
Ariel, because most of the people they base their action on the outcome. I base the stuff that I do based on principles. So it's not because it's going to be more beneficial to me monetarily that I'm gonna change what I say. Because one thing is, it's very easy to say, I'm a free market guy, I'm against the government, I'm this and that. But when I can prove, when I can show up, when I can tell my kids and my family that I live by my word, that's hard. And what's hard for me, I'm not telling that I'm a saint. When I heard that I would get like, and they start to say, hey, you're gonna get like 100,000, 200,000. I talked to Gilbert Burns and he say, it's at least 100,000 or 200,000. And that's good money for me. I would get that money and buy maybe 1.5 Bitcoin, and that would be good. But I think I want money, but I don't want money just for nothing.
I get it.
If I want money for something, I like money, but I would never rob a bank. I would never step to my work just to get money. So that's my whole point. My whole point is here. My whole point is, when these people signed with the UFC, they were very happy about the contract. 10 years later, they say, no, I was not happy, I was abused. And then when they have the chance to keep going with the lawsuit, they drop it because they do the settlement. So they got the money and the lawsuit is gone. And guess what? UFC will be doing the same thing that you're complaining when you were an athlete. Can you understand what I said?
Yes, I understand. Well,
Yeah, so what about these people that they say they are fighting for the fighters, they are fighting for payment, and once they have the chance to prove that was not about money, they choose the money. Do you think that was right?
When they came out with the settlement, I think the original number was 335 million, and then the judge, Judge Boulware, said, which was somewhat shocking, at least to me, I'm not a legal expert, but it was shocking that the judge said, no, I don't like this number, go back to the negotiation table. And then they came back with 375. That was the number, right? 375 million that they wanted to disperse. My initial reaction, Renato, was I am surprised because the group of fighters and their leadership had been telling us for about 10 years or so that this is all about changing the sport, changing the contracts, right? And
you understand my point?
Yes, I'm backing you.
They fucking choose the money.
I don't want to say I was disappointed, but I was like, oh, you're literally, to steal a phrase from the NFL, you're at the goal line to getting this to go to trial, to where now there would be discovery. You would find out all these things about the practices. You would be able to fundamentally change the sport. And the UFC basically gave you like a tax write-off and you went away. So that to me was, yes. So I understand. That being said,
but
I think you deserve more money.
Let me tell you something.
I think you deserve more money. And I guess what is not good, bad, or anything, but to me, someone like you, it's fascinating that you would say like, oh, you'd be going against your word if you took this money, because ultimately the UFC is saying, take it. It's the same money, in my opinion, than the 10 and 10 that they gave you when you first signed. Now they're just course correcting and being like, you know what? On second thought, we actually think you deserved 15 and 15. So why not just take it?
Yeah, that's my
That's
whole
not going
point.
back on your word. That's not calling you a liar.
It's not, because
a bonus, right? If they want to give you a bonus in the locker room because they liked your fight, not an official bonus.
That's good.
What's the difference?
But guess what? The difference is they doing that because of the justice and because the government. So the government and
you say they forced them?
Yeah, of course they forced them. UFC would not give them money if they didn't have to do the settlement. This is clear. They want money. They love money. But my whole problem with this narrative is this: we're fighting, and this is like government. This was like Lyndon Johnson expand the welfare program in the United States. We're going to do that for the single moms that cannot work. Okay, but then 15 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, we see the debit in America because people doesn't care about what they say. They don't care about the words. They're gonna act in beneficial of them. And I like to think I'm not like them. I like to think that I am a man of my word, and I want my son one day to realize that. So that's my whole point. And again, I'm not saying I'm a saint. If the money was like 10 million, 3 million, 1 million, 2 million, I could have taken. But for this money, I'm not gonna do it. Okay,
That's fine.
I'm not gonna do it. That's
By
fine.
the word, and I hope you don't think that I'm criticizing you. I just wanted to gain insight because I think some people see the clip or they see the headline and they weigh in on it. To me, I'd rather talk to you about it because it's up to you. Ultimately, you taking the money or not doesn't affect me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's why I think it's fascinating. That's all. I don't think less of you as a person. In fact, I actually, in a way, have more respect because to me, you said a word, and I have a lot of respect for you, and I admire you greatly. And I hope you see that clip where I talked about it because I said, if this is how you feel, if someone feels strongly about something that is not hurting me, that is not illegal, then we should respect it because if you have principles, you said that word, principles, that to me is something that is lacking in a lot of people. And so if you've thought about this, and I know you did because you're a smart, educated man, and you said, you know what, I don't feel right taking this money, it doesn't align with what I believe in, then who are we to judge you?
That's my
would
whole
I have
point.
taken the money? Probably, but do I think less of you? No.
No, that's my whole point because first of all, now I have a huge audience, especially on Portuguese. And if you know Brazil, we've been dealing through a lot of things with the government because of this mentality to take free money, to criticize companies. America was the biggest economy, is the biggest economy, and was the biggest economy and the biggest nation in the world because of free market of ideas, free market and decentralization. Back in the day when the founding fathers, they found this and they did the constitution to take power off the central government. Nowadays, the mindset is shifting and people are turning. And now we see, like 5 years ago on the COVID, we saw how many people were saying we need more government, we need more intervention, and I don't believe that. Everything that I believe is in the opposite. I believe in individualism. I believe only yourself can dictate what your life is going to be. And once every and single matter, we're going to start to go into the justice system to say what the government, because in the end of the day, the justice is just a branch of the government. The justice is government, and we're saying government is judging us. So I don't believe in government. I believe in less government. I believe in the power of your decision. I believe in human action. So that's my time to prove it. That's my time to prove it.
There was a big protest yesterday in Brazil, right?
A big protest in Brazil today. We and you know what? You know what's funny? Imagine what we are going through Brazil right now. I'm telling you, the justice system. The justice system is going over. Is going over the legislative branch. So what that means? That means that the Congress doesn't do shit in Brazil. The Senate doesn't do shit in Brazil. And now we have a Supreme Court that they issue laws. They can do whatever they want. You know why? Because people give power to the justice. People give power to the Supreme Court. People give power to the government. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to abuse it. That was like that in every dictatorship in Latin America. You start to giving power to the government. Guess what? It's going to grow, and it's going to dictate every single aspect of your life. 50 years ago, nobody would say that UFC is a monopoly. Nowadays, athletes that work for the UFC is saying there is a monopoly and they deserve more money. Guess what? I believe I want more. I believe I deserve more money. But my way to do that? Negotiate with the UFC. I'm not gonna say to a judge and say, "Hey, they are paying me not good money." Do the contract by yourself. Explain your case, and if you are worth, UFC gonna give you more money. That's as simple as that. Again, it's not because I think UFC is good and everything is 100%. No, it's because once you start to depend on the government will grow. Once you grow, we're going to have more bureaucrats dictating what is right and what is wrong. And then when you see, your society is gone. Everybody's depending on the government, like America is now on a huge crisis of debt. They cannot stop printing money, and I don't believe in that. I believe in less government. So that's my way to prove it.
So in conclusion, no regrets. You don't regret this today. You won't regret it tomorrow. You won't regret it in 5 years.
I don't know, Ariel.
Oh.
Life changed, If I was again, I'm saying I'm not doing this for the UFC, and I'm not doing this because I'm a saint. I'm not a holy. No, I'm saying on the position that I am right now, I am in a good position right now. So I will stick to my principles. But
did you consider taking the money and maybe like donating it?
That's the problem. I didn't at the time because was not to show that I was donating, to show that I was doing good things. I just thought that's wrong because I signed the contract and I was happy.
Do you wish you did that?
So I wish I did that.
Okay.
I wish I did that. And
Is
then
it too late? Is it too late?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think so. Because from the email that I got from the lawyer, he said, "Hey, this is the last day," and I say, "No, thank you, I don't wanna." But in reality, if I have done that, would be even better. But that didn't cross my mind. So that's what I'm saying. It was not because I want to look good, and it was not because I want to please UFC. Was about principles, and especially people in Brazil. I have a huge audience in Brazil, and I tell them, you have to be responsible for your acts. You have to be smarter. You have to be stronger. You have to keep. Ariel, I don't know if you're a religious guy, but I believe in God. I believe in Jesus.
I do too.
And one day, when if I go to the heaven, I cannot judge. I would like to think that Jesus say, "Hey, you did the right thing. You live by your principles. You were not hurting anybody. I never initiate aggression against other people. I don't discriminate nobody. I'm a good guy. So keep calling me dumb. Keep calling me whatever you want. I don't care. I live by my principles, and I don't expect you that don't have principles to understand what I did. And it is what it is. This is a fucking free country, Choose and give your opinions. I don't care. You can give your opinions. Again, I did not watch a show, and I did not watch Brandon Shelby or whatever did, because he spent a whole hour talking shit about me. I saw a small clip, and I commentating on that. But I'm not gonna be watching every clip that people talk shit about me. It is what it is. You can do whatever you want.
We didn't talk shit about you here. We didn't talk shit about you here. Just for the record, I just want to.
For the record, Ariel.
I didn't talk shit. I was saying I respect you and like you. You don't believe me, huh?
No, I believe you, and especially now what you say, because that's my whole point too. That was not about UFC being a monopoly. My point that's not what about fighters pay. That was about to grab some cash, and that was good for the UFC. That's what people don't get it. That was awesome for the UFC. You give 300 millions. That's no money for the UFC, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And you drop the lawsuit, and now UFC is not labeled as a monopoly, as I think it should be. But if I was in the lawsuit, I would not take the money anyways. Because if you have to believe in something. How are you going to live your life? You're going to live 50, 60, 70 years in your life, living like a fucking cow or like a fucking chicken, just eating and like walking. Brother, think about that. If you believe UFC is a monopoly, don't take the money and go with the lawsuit. I don't believe it's a monopoly. I believe in free market. I believe a monopoly is only created by the state. I believe a monopoly is only created by laws when people prevent competition to go on the market, like UPS or like FPL. So even if you have if a billionaire wants to start a water company in Florida, they cannot, because government say, "Hey, I give the concession to this company."
Yeah.
This is a monopoly because you cannot go. But if there is no laws, and if you have a lot of money, if Mark Zuckerberg want to create his own promotion, maybe he can do right. But guess what? To me, UFC is just better than the competition. They are just way better than the competition. And we saw that in the monopoly case, the Sharma Act, a lot of times, this is just competition trying to make the company less efficient. Because in the end of the day, if UFC has all the fighters and if they have the biggest market share, that's good for the fans, because they can see the fights that they want. The difference between boxing, all the people say that, in the boxing, the best don't fight the best. I'm not saying that that's good for the fighters, because of course they can pay you less money and they can control more the fights. But for the fans, is good. And that's why even when the fighters are on the PFL, they are in Rising, they are in ONE FC, everybody wants to go to the UFC. And there is a reason for that. They are the best company in mixed martial arts of the world right now. And if there is no competition, they will be for a long time. And I don't think a judge should rule on that, because that's not free market. That's interventionism.
Much respect, Renato. Thank you for coming on. This was a great chat. I wish we could go a little bit longer, but we are out of time. Always appreciate you, and I urge everyone to check out your website, your YouTube channel, moneymoicano.com, the Show Me the Money podcast. Keep up the great work, and way to stand on your morals and principles. And fuck everyone else.
Last thing that I want to
Yes.
say. Last thing that I want to say is, sometimes when I'm doing the Show Me the Money podcast, I cannot articulate like that. I cannot say the things that I believe in, because it's a 1 hour show and I have to be funny. I have to be funny. I want to be funny.
Sure.
I'm speaking on my second language, and so that's why I can understand why the people clip and they say, "Hey, this guy is dumb," And if you think yourself as dumb, think the people that watch the Brandon Shelby show on YouTube, the comedian, the special. That's fucking terrible. Okay, brother? Even I can do better than that shit, brother. And I don't even speak English, and I can be funnier than you, my brother.
Gosh. Papa catches a stray. Oh dear. Oh
okay.
dear.
Thank you so much, Ariel, for the platform. Everybody that wants to follow me, go to my social media, Money Moicano on YouTube. And if you want, buy a fucking t-shirt, my brother.
Yes.
Hey, this is the Portuguese one. I have both now.
Yes, we have two now. You see, we show you love.
Thank you so much. Renato Moicano and the Money Moicano. Show me the money, all that stuff, I'm not in the good wise with the UFC, so buy my stuff and support me on the social media.
Okay, thank you so much. There he is, the great Renato Money Moicano. What a guy, what a character. But by catching a stray on the back end of that, we appreciate him very much. Okay, let's not waste any more time, because our next guest has been very patiently waiting, and I apologize to him for that. He is Martin Buday. We just saw him. We just saw him in action, 10 or so days ago, less than that, 9 or so days ago, beating Marcus Buchecha. He had won his third fight in a row, and then he announces on social media that he is no longer in the UFC. Let's get the real story here from the man himself, the pride of Slovakia. Martin Buday is kind enough to join us. Martin, thank you so much for the time, and I'm sorry for getting to you a little late. As you saw there, Money Moicano, he likes to talk a lot, so we apologize for keeping you waiting. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for the invite, and no problem. We do it.
Okay, so Martin, let's start pre-Abu Dhabi if we can. Obviously, you knew that there was one fight left on your UFC contract, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Usually, there's some talk before the final fight about whether or not we want to re-sign you or not. Were there any conversations between your management team, yourself, and the UFC about your future after this fight against Marcus Buchecha?
I don't think so, not at all. So it happened for me on the first contract that they let me to fight it to the end, and I was free agent. So this was the same scenario again. So I didn't know what or how will UFC decide. So I was about to find out after the last fight with Marcus Buchecha.
And which fight was that? You said the last contract. Which fight was that you had the final fight on the contract?
It was fight with Josh Parisian.
Okay, so I'm trying to see. Okay, so that was 2023. So then I guess you signed a 4-fight deal after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was they were also deciding to not re-sign me. After that, I was 4 wins and I won all the fights on the first contract. And UFC also was deciding if they sign me again or not. So.
And so going into that fight against,
I was expecting this will be same scenario.
Sure.
I will finish my second contract, and they will take some time, and they will offer me something, or we will go to the negotiations, which didn't happen. So.
You beat Josh via submission. And going into that fight, were you told, or were you under the impression, okay, I need to get a stoppage, I need to do something spectacular? You won that fight via Kimura in order to convince them that I should be re-signed?
It was obvious I need to finishes. So UFC is not happy with the decisions. So I was aware I need some big finish or something like that. it will be like better for me to, or it will help me to sign a new contract.
Okay. And so shortly after that win, you got a new contract, and then you were actually stopped by Shamil Gaziev in your next fight. Were you worried that you were going to get cut? Because they can cut you after a loss. Were you worried that you were going to get cut after that loss?
Yeah, of course, because like it was bad performance, and I was worried I will get cut, of course. So yeah.
Okay. Ultimately, you didn't, and then you went on to win 3 in a row, as recently as 2 weekends ago in Abu Dhabi. Going into the fight, were you told we need a finish here? We need something spectacular. It's the same thing. What were the conversations like?
I was told like I need finishes from the after the Arlovsky fight, or after the Shamil fight also, but after Arlovsky fight, I was told like I need some like big performance or big finish, or it will not be like good for my future in the organization. So an Arlovsky fight wasn't like my best performance. It has some background to it, which I didn't share with the people, with the public.
What was that? What was the background?
I lost my father like 3 or 4 days before the fight.
Oh,
like
wow.
It was like start for the fight week, so I wasn't like mentally there in the fight, and it went that bad. Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very, very sorry. Did the UFC know about this?
No.
Oh, wow. And
No.
did you consider withdrawing from the fight after this happened?
Yeah, I was considering, but like I didn't want to like upset the company and upset my fans, and the preparation was good, the fight camp was good. I felt like prepared for that fight to deliver the finish that UFC wanted, and it didn't work out, unfortunately. So it was a very unfortunate situation for me.
Ultimately, though, you got the win, and then you got another win, and then you got the win from a couple of weeks ago. As you were, in the locker room after the win, after the fight, did you feel like you had done enough to warrant a new contract?
In the last fight, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was confident, like I did, like it was like my best performance so far in the UFC, as I can say that. I didn't have like my previous fights wasn't really attractive because I used a lot of clinching. Like it was like my main weapon is if I can say that. So I started to ignore the clinching and do more work on the feet and maybe on the ground. So I started to do like more stand up, and I showed that the last fight I can use it properly. And I also show my takedown defense is on point. Like so, I believed like it will be enough to resign me after the performance, because I'm getting like better and better from fight to fight. So I think the finishes will come in the future.
Okay, so then it was reported. I believe it was reported on July 31st, so a little less than a week ago, by MMAfighting.com that you are no longer on the roster, and then you confirmed it on social media. So it is in fact true. They didn't extend an offer. They didn't try to re-sign you. How were you told? How did your team find out? How did you find out?
Like we were celebrating after the win. And I found out like last Wednesday, I believe it was like Wednesday. I got a call from my manager that UFC will not extend the contract with us. So it was pretty rough.
Yeah, what was your reaction?
I was really upset and very sad about it because I love UFC, and I was hoping to get re-signed. Yeah, so I was sad for the situation.
Was there any sort of negotiation? Did they offer something that your team didn't like, or was it just, hey, we're going to go in a different direction?
Yeah, there was like no negotiation. I also, I to make it clear, I wasn't asking for more money. and anything. I was like, I can like wait for some match to come up. Like, and I didn't ask for anything. Only thing I asked was to resign me.
Sure. You would have been happy to resign at the same amount that your last fight contract was on.
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
That was the thing I was like telling, or my managers communicating.
And were they told any specific reason? Like, did the UFC say the reason why we're not going to re-sign him is because of X, Y, and Z?
Like only thing like I was told was they don't have any fight for me right now, so they will not extend like my contract.
Okay. Do you believe that? Do you believe that's the reason?
I think there are like more reasons behind that. The main reason is like some of my fights weren't so attractive or for the eye of the fan. But I did like everything to secure the win. So I think that was like the main problem. I didn't have so much like finishes in the fights, and like my fight style wasn't too much or wasn't attractive.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, there's a fighter named Thomas Peterson who's been calling you out, and you said you wanted to fight him as well. And you're ranked, I think, as of last week, number 12 in the UFC ranking. So clearly there would be some fights for you. Ultimately, and they did a similar thing with Jairzinho Rosenstrike, who was a heavyweight who was coming off a win, and they didn't renew him as well. So it seems like they're obviously well within their rights to do that. Ultimately, were you more disappointed than surprised? Like, was there a part of you that was worrying about this, or were you completely caught off guard? Did you think 100% that they were going to re-sign you again?
No, I wasn't sure that I will get re-signed, so it was like not 100% surprise, but I was like hoping after my last performance I will get re-signed. So yeah, it was like 50-50 probably or something like that.
You said you were sad, you were disappointed, you were mad. That was a few days ago. How are you doing now?
I think a little bit better. Yeah, I have like some offers from other promotions from all around the world. So
already,
yeah. So I'm thinking what's next for me, and we'll decide in the near future probably.
Could you tell us who these promotions are?
Like there are many. Like I think every promotion you can imagine. But like if I can tell you some like funny one, which are not funny, with all respect, the one offer that I didn't like believe at first was offer from Glory Kickboxing.
Oh wow!
So yeah, like they have like we didn't talk like numbers, but they reached me out, like they have interest. So they were asking like if I have interest. So I was like, no. And the first thing I was in my mind, like if they were, I was laughing and I was asking myself, like, they want to kill me.
Yeah, they want you to fight Rico.
Like heavyweights, yeah.
And how come? Is it because you don't want to do kickboxing? You don't think that's the best fit for you?
No. I don't think so. I don't think I will fit in the high competition like Glory is in the kickboxing because like I'm MMA fighter. So I don't think I can keep up with the heavyweight division in Glory kickboxing.
I
like pure striking. So I'm like more MMA guy. So
I had heard that PFL was interested. That a promotion in Croatia, FNC, that's doing big things, is interested in you as well. Are you familiar with these organizations?
Yeah, of course. But right now, I like the interest of PFL, of course.
Yeah.
And also from Octagon MMA.
Yeah.
Where I was like champion before I entered the Contender Series and UFC.
Sure, and they've grown a lot since you were there, right? They're doing incredible things.
Yeah, of course. They're doing like incredible things. They are like probably number one in the Europe right now, and they are expanding big. Like they are doing the stadiums and everything. So it's like big promotion and good for them.
Okay. And obviously you're a part of Tom Aspinall's team, right? You train with Tom, and I've seen you training with Phil DeFries as well. There you are, right there. So I was thinking
Yeah.
initially like, oh, maybe KSW against Phil, but I don't think that you would you be open to that, or are you too close now?
I think we are too close, so I will not. I will like decline the offer instantly because like I train with Phil and I train also with my other sparring partner from Slovakia who is competing in the KSW also. So I will decline the offer instantly. I
Okay.
don't want to fight my teammates.
Yes. Do you think that we'll now see, you were on a great run and you have a great record already, but considering all that's happened here, do you think that this will give you a chip on your shoulder so that the next time we see you, you'll fight a little bit differently with more aggression? You'll want to get out some of these frustrations, or are you going to remain? You seem like a mild-mannered guy, a pretty, relaxed guy. Will this affect the way you fight, or do you think you'll be able to separate the two?
I would like to show. I would like to deliver some finishes that I didn't get in the UFC, so I will probably be more aggressive in the next fights and deliver the finishes and do a good fight.
We have seen some people leave the UFC and then come back. Is that a hope? Is the hope to go out there, get some finishes, show them that you're worth their while, and then re-sign with the promotion?
I'm not sure at the moment, but as you said, we've seen this before, so maybe that's my way back to the UFC, or maybe not. So I'm not sure, but I want to do like good fights in my
Sure.
in next promotion I will be fighting.
How quickly do you want to return?
I would like to fight as soon as possible. Like I'm healthy, so I would like to get 1 or 2 fights by the end of the year.
Okay.
So we will see.
Okay. And by the way, I know that you posted on your social media about fighting Buchecha, like I think 10 or so years ago. You took a picture with him, right? Like you really looked up to him. Was it weird for you to fight someone that you had so much respect for?
It was not like weird, but it was like challenge for me because I knew him like very well, or like his achievements in the BJJ and the grappling and BJJ world. So he's a big legend, and it was like a big challenge and big honor to fight with someone like Marcus Buchecha.
Yeah, I was wondering, the reason I bring it up is sometimes when you have this history with someone or you have this respect for someone, you're a little less aggressive because you don't want to hurt them. You don't have that animosity towards them, and I wondered if that came into play.
I don't think so. I totally separate any like good emotions towards him. Like through fight week, we met, we shake the hands, we exchanged a few words with all the respect, but in the fight, I think both of us separated that from us in the fight night.
When you tweeted this last week that you were officially parting ways with the UFC, the tweet exploded. It got a lot of love and a lot of attention. It went viral, as they say. Did that make you feel a little bit better?
Yeah, that was very nice, and I want to thank everyone or everyone in the MMA community who showed me love. The post on the Twitter was like skyrocketing.
Yeah.
In interactions. It was like I think 900,000 if I remember correctly. And also on my Instagram, it was like doing some good numbers, like I think 2 million interactions or something like that. So I was really, really surprised that the MMA community showed me so much love, and I'm really thankful for it. I appreciate it.
As of right now, are you leaning in one direction or another? Do you have any physical offers that you're actually seriously looking at?
Probably between PFL and Octagon right now.
So your team is talking to both entities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there one that you prefer over the other?
It's hard to say, but probably as I know the Octagon MMA, which I was like the champ there, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
like probably be a little bit more on the octagon side.
Well, two good choices, right? PFL, gaining momentum, number 2 here in America and maybe all over the world, and Octagon, you know them, and developing as one of the best, if not the best, in Europe right now. So I would say you're in a very good spot, and you're taking the high road. You're not burning any bridges with the UFC. You're not slandering them on the way out. So you have a lot of opportunities ahead of you, and you're on a winning streak. And according to the UFC, the 12th best heavyweight in their organization. So that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. And as first, I want to say, like, I'm not showing any bad shade on the UFC. Like, I love the UFC. I want to thank them too. They make me a fighter that I am today in person. So I want to thank them too for the opportunity to show myself to the world and to be a part of the #1 promotion in the world. So I don't have like any bad feelings about them. And if I do like good and get some good wins, good finishes, maybe they will be open to resign me. So we will see.
Well, good luck to you, Martin. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for coming on. I'm sorry this happened, but it sounds like you've got some opportunities and some very good options. So good luck in choosing the best option for you, and we look forward to seeing you back in action later on this year.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me, to give me space, and have a nice day.
Same to you. There he is, the pride of Slovakia, just 33 years young, which for a heavyweight is in my opinion quite young. And like I said, has won his last 3 in a row. This has happened. It's not necessarily something that is unique to Martin, and he's got options. Octagon is doing great things. The PFL option is certainly an interesting one. They could use some names in their heavyweight division. Obviously, still in the Francis Ngannou business. So I don't think he's going to be out of commission, so to speak, for quite some time. I think he'll find a home, and it sounds like the 2 best options are Octagon and PFL. I was wondering about KSW, but I know he's good mates with the one and only Phil DeFries. So I appreciate him saying, yeah, I wouldn't consider that one. Glory's an interesting one as well. Glory trying to take a little bit from the MMA pot, as the MMA pot has taken from the Glory side of things. Interesting, but credit to him for saying, that's not my bag, that's not my thing. In a couple of moments, we're going to be joined by Thad Jean, who won the 500K tournament on Friday, the welterweight tournament for the PFL. I wanted to go back to one of the fights that happened on that card. It was a fight between a Canadian, Frédéric Dupras, and Nathan Kelly, the Irishman. The referee for this fight was Giovanna Scano, who I will admit, not terribly familiar with. Usually when the major promotions are in the New Jersey area, you'll see, the usual suspects. You'll also see Vitor Shaolin Ribeiro, who's a New Jersey MMA legend, former fighter. So not familiar with her. She reffed, according to Tapology, 3 fights on this particular card, and this one was quite controversial. Sound full. Let's listen to it and react to it, because unfortunately, while it was a very impressive finish, it probably went a little bit too long.
Smart work, but again, you see Dupras constantly dipping into the center channel. There he is. Good timing on that takedown, but Kelly scrambles through.
Oh, big
now he's hitting the guillotine.
It's tight. He's under the chin. Oh, there's the tap. There's the tap. He taps it. He taps it. It's did not see the tap. This fight is over. Nathan Kelly is unconscious.
So, as you can see, and perhaps we can replay it now without the sound. I mean, what a win for Dupras. A very impressive guillotine choke. Dustin Poirier is somewhere very jealous of this ghillie. But as you will very clearly see, Kelly does tap, and Scano is just out of position. The announcers, well, you don't really see it there, but the announcers are going crazy. And in the clip, which is why I wanted to play it sound full, you hear her talking like, did he tap or is he out? And I mean, obviously, he's not going to be able to react. She was just very late. And this is not me trying to shit on her. You know, like the referees have the worst job. I've always said MMA refereeing is the toughest job in all of officiating because so much of it is subjective, even more so than being a kickboxing or boxing referee. You have to make these split-second calls, but this wasn't great. This wasn't great. You know, it wasn't quite Jason Herzog of 2 weeks ago, but you know, this was not good at all. And you know, you don't want chokes to last longer, especially after someone's tapping. So that was an unfortunate one. I understand with regards to the Jason Herzog situation that there were some conversations afterward. Like that one didn't just go quietly into the night. There was some talk. There was some explaining that had to be done, and you know, I don't think that we are not going to see him ever again. But I did look into it, and I was happy to hear that it wasn't just one of those things where, you know, it was just like, hey, you know, tough day at the office. If they're not going to be held accountable as far as the public and the media is concerned, and New Jersey is one of the best commissions, so I expect a similar type of thing happen here. They should be held accountable behind closed doors with the commissions. And I consistently think that the best commissioner, quote unquote, in combat sports is Andy Foster of California. Tomorrow, Andy Foster is going to be on the program to talk about some of these things, but also to talk about a new scoring criteria change that he is looking to implement in the not too distant future. So I look forward to that very much. Let's move along and say hello to the aforementioned Thad Jean, who is now $500,000 richer. He defeats Logan Storley, very impressive fashion. He's had some impressive wins. Some might call this the most impressive. He has been the breakout star for the PFL in this new tournament format that they've unveiled this year. We had him in studio a couple weeks ago. We welcome him back to the program now. Thad, congratulations, my man. A couple days later, how are we feeling about what you did on Friday?
I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed and tired. 5 rounds was not a easy walkthrough of a battle, but it was a battle and it was my battle. And yeah, like you said, I felt like I did the best and I felt the best that I've ever done in the match. Well, in the cage, honestly.
So were you surprised it went 5 rounds? Were you really thinking that you were going to stop him?
Yeah, I thought I was going to stop him in the second round. And I stopped because the referee is like, why isn't he stopping the fight? He's trying to make me gas out. My twitch fiber muscles are not for all this little damage hit. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. The referee's not going to call the fight. He's trying to gas me out, and I got 3 more rounds to go. So let me just walk away from this and just get back to my corner so I can get the next 3 rounds going.
Wow, you're thinking of all that in the moment?
Yeah.
Damn. You're having internal conversations.
Literally, I got to finish this dude. And I was like, okay, this dude's not stopping the fight. So I'm like, all right, Thad, you're going to go against a wrestler. You got 3 more rounds. If you keep punching and you don't finish it out, we see it so many times in the past where there's one guy who gets the near finish, does everything he can to finish it. The referee doesn't call it, and then he's gassed out, and then he loses the fight. And I was like, I'm not going to be one of those guys. So I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm walking away from this. I'm going back to the corner. He's not going to do anything in the last 10 seconds, so I'm going back before I gas myself out.
And by the way, when I asked that about, you know, being surprised it went the distance, I wasn't necessarily talking about that moment, but as you were preparing for the fight and matching yourself up against him, did you think, there's no way we're going to the championship rounds here?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, of course. I thought I was gonna destroy Logan, and he wouldn't be able to take all the hits and the power that I was gonna give him. But man, that guy is durable. That dude is literally probably the most durable person I've ever won against. Like I said, I felt the best I've ever felt, and the amount of output and the amount of punches, the amount of strikes that I threw, it was more than I've ever thrown before. And for him to be able to take all that and just keep coming forward, even into the last rounds, man, I give so much props to him as a fighter and just as a warrior in general. So, I mean, I did not expect to go to the championship rounds, but even though we went to the championship rounds, Logan just kept going. He just kept going.
Did you think that he respected you, that he viewed you as a threat, as someone who could beat him? Were you
I
getting
feel
that
like he
vibe
did.
from him on Fight Week?
Yeah, I did. You know why I got that vibe is because he never really claimed the victory. Um, if I always listen to what people are saying, and he never really claimed the victory. He never, when we got the first look at the belts, he never touched the belt, and I was just like, that's an uncertain guy right there. That's a guy who's not so sure of himself right now. So I was like, I'm going to use that to my advantage and take full advantage when I get into the cage.
Wow, that is perceptive. Just by him not touching the belt, you felt like he wasn't sure of himself.
Yeah, and he never claimed that he was going to win. He just said that he was going to take me into deep waters and make this a tough battle for me. He never said he was going to go out there and, I'm going to take this title. I'm going to be the winner of this. He never claimed that victory itself. He just kept saying how much of a tough battle it was going to be. And then again, not touching the belt. So yeah, I'm listening to everything, filling out whatever the opponent is saying.
Yes. What do you think of being out there in Atlantic City, Boardwalk Hall? What was that experience like?
What
is?
It was cool.
You didn't love it?
No, not at all. I thought it was not for me. It's definitely not the city for me. It was definitely hanging on, I should say.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the vibes I was getting from Atlantic City. The boardwalk, it was more like it was a cool I'm pretty sure in the past it was really nice. And then I asked people in the past how nice was it, and they were like, it wasn't the best in the past. And I'm like, okay, I guess the glory days was when it first came out, when it first popped out. But I feel like now it's hanging on by a thread. And I mean, even the commission, everything that the commission were doing, they didn't even allow elbows, the 12-6 elbows. And the grounded opponent rule, like everything was super like old school still. So I mean, they're definitely hardcore, the commission. So they're really cool. But just Atlantic City itself was very urban.
Yes, New Jersey is one of the better commissions. But yes, they were in fact the ones who they were the ones who came up with the unified rules of MMA. They were the first ones to institute it way back in I think
nice.
2001. But you are right about Atlantic City. Hanging on by a thread is being very kind. I would say that it was the spot to be in maybe like the mid to late-ish 80s.
There we go.
And so its glory days are long past. And I personally haven't been there in like 13 years. So I was wondering if maybe it was enjoying a renaissance. It sounds like not. It sounds like it might even be worse.
No, yeah, I wouldn't go back.
Okay.
If I didn't have a fight there, I wouldn't go back. And put me in Vegas instead. If we're gonna go into a city of lights at night lights, put me in Vegas.
Fair enough. I did see that you guys did a little face-off on the beach, so I thought that was a cool.
Yeah, honestly, let me tell you the truth. That was a one and only time, and I was there for an entire week that I went to the beach.
Okay, wow.
I looked at the beach. That was a one and only time. I don't like going to beaches because I'm from South Florida and I live I'm 5 minutes from the beach. I'm pretty spoiled over here, but going on sand, and sand is super important. And the sand there looks like it's more like concrete sand.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And I don't like that.
Okay.
It's like people are driving on it all the time. But okay, I'm not trying to crack on their town or just make fun of them, but I'm used to South Florida beaches.
I got you. You're spoiled as you should be. It's a very special place. How big of a deal is this 500K? How life-changing is this for you?
It's nice. It's really nice. Really nice. I've never made that much, but it's nothing. It's just a tip of just of what I plan on making in the future when it comes to just money. It's not for my family and for myself and just my generations to come. But 500,000 is definitely a beautiful start off to get to where I want to be in life, for sure. Definitely want to do some training camps, things like that. So I mean, and then just winning a title in general. All that is just a really, 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 really nice little kickoff segue to doing what I really want to do in this life.
Yes, I saw you had a nice little sleep with the title as well.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I was like, who else to keep me warm at night other than a hard, shiny belt?
Yo, it's great. By the way, it's a very nice looking belt, I must say. It looks heavy as well.
It is heavy.
Oh, there it is.
Beautiful.
No, it's upside down.
No.
Yeah, you don't want
There we
that.
go.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Wow. What was it like going on the plane with that?
No, I'm honestly super like I know it doesn't seem like it, but I like get like shy sometimes when it comes to attention outside of where I should be getting. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got
Like
it.
unless I'm in the cage or unless it's like needed and necessary for me, I'd rather stay low key. So I packed up my bag, my belt, so that people wouldn't know who I was.
You didn't go through security with it.
No way.
That's the move. You have to do that.
No.
And then everyone
No,
asks for a
everybody
picture.
was telling me. No. Everybody was telling me, "Oh, Dad, you gotta just show out, do it, put it in the belt." I was like, "No, absolutely no way." I get like honestly, I get shy, and I will do it. Like if it's in a moment and people want to see it, definitely, I'm definitely a man of the people. But at the same time, I don't want to be that guy. Oh, who look, this guy's walking around with the belt. Look at this guy. Who's this guy? Let's go talk to this guy, or let's go take pictures with this guy. And then it's not even people who actually know who you are. They're just people who just want to take pictures with you. I'm like, bro, you're just holding up people. We're bothering people.
I got you.
So
I got
I'd rather not.
But by the way, your suitcase was big enough and it wasn't overweight because like that thing looks like it weighs like 50 pounds.
No, I actually, so every time you fight with the PFL, they give you an extra bag. So I use that extra bag to carry my belt and made sure I had it on top so nothing was pushing it. So she definitely had like first class treatment. She definitely was treated the right way.
Okay.
Definitely
What does this
treated the
make
right
you
way.
now? This makes you the welterweight tournament champion. What does that mean? Like what? 'Cause we're still, I have to admit, we're still confused like who the champions are and what. So like, does this mean now you get to fight who?
It depends. There's a couple of people. Personally, I want to fight Umalatov first, but if I have to fight Shamil, that's another one who was the winner last year. And then there is the Bellator champion, Ramazan. I think that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I feel like once I get through one of these, I'm the top contender to go against these people who've already established themselves as titles. Not Umalatov, but Shamil and Ramazan. And then after that, I want to go to the European scene and go against someone like Baki or Cedric Doumbé, and just take the PFL over there, take over PFL over there.
Oh damn, I
So
like
yeah,
this.
I'm it's pretty much on my call. Like, who do I want to go against? It's like, do I want to be going against Jamil, the last year's winner, which I do eventually want to go against? Do I want to go against Ramazan? Go against the unified PFL versus Bellator belt? I'm hoping I'm saying his name right when I'm saying that. Forgive me if I'm not. And then, or do I go across the sea and just go against Doumbé or Baki?
So have they said to you, it's up to you? We're gonna follow your lead?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't say. Oh, they don't tell me that, but they tell me I have the options.
Okay, and so if it was your choice and you could pick your number one option, who is your number one option?
So there's two routes you can go. You can go the route of fame, or you can go the route of securing my status as a Ultimate Fighter. And I'll say Shamil would be the part of me solidifying myself as really the top welterweight. Or I could go the fame route and go against those in the France, like Cedric Doumbé or Baki. So I mean,
that's what I would do.
I don't know. You know exactly. So I would really want to up my fame and go against those guys. But like I said, whoever they put me against, they put me against. But I feel like those are the two routes, and how those two routes look. Do I want to go with solidifying myself as one of the best, or do I want to? And we're not discounting, Baki and Cedric Doumbé are really, really good, but I would say they have more of the face of popularity and fame right now that I can take from beating them.
Yeah. Ramazan Kuramagomedov is the, I guess, the last Bellator champion. I don't know if that belt still exists. It's all a little bit confusing. And so I feel like it's going to be that direction. Or as you mentioned, Shamil, if I were you, if I were managing you, if we were in cahoots together, if we were in business, I would go the Baki Doumbé route because those fights, with all due respect, are bigger and there's more opportunities to just grow your star because you're a rising star and you have developed into the story of the year for PFL so far and one of the faces of the company. And so to me, I love that. I just didn't even know if that was an option, if they wanted you guys to fight, I think it's a little bit confusing right now, but that's to me the best idea. You versus and number one would be Doumbé. Doumbé is a gigantic star, especially over there. You versus Doumbé would be gigantic for them.
Huge. He's a huge star over there, and they have a huge. It's just France, and then again, I'm Haitian, so it'll be another big, huge promotional thing. As they did with Jackson and me and Jackson with the Caribbeans, we could do Haitian and France. There's a lot of history there, so it'll be a huge fight. I mean, maybe start little turf wars out there as well because of the fight. I don't care, but let me fight him anyways. So I feel like that'll be a really good move, honestly, on my career path.
Is there another Kill Cliff fighter that you can fight? Because I believe you're now 4-0 against them.
Yeah, I am 4-0 against them. You know it. I don't know. Aren't they in the UFC now? Most of the other ones are in the UFC.
Yeah. That is an incredible thing. That's a nice little feather in your cap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go against the ATT guys too. Whoever ATT has that I can take out all these huge gems. I'm ready to take out everyone. No one's taking my zero. If you feel like you're gonna take my zero, I'm cool with the target on my back. You come and try to take it. I'm ready for exactly whoever's coming. Like I'm only getting better. And I feel like I'm cracking the code every time I get into that cage. And I guess that's what you could say is the experience part. Is that every time you get into the cage, you get better and better. And that's exactly what it is. I felt the best I've ever felt going into this fight. I went 5 rounds. I've never done 5 rounds, and I went 5 rounds with 5-time NCAA grappling champion who keeps his opponents on the ground. He didn't keep me on the ground. I got up when I wanted to. Yeah, he took me down every now and then when I wanted to take a little break, but I was calm on the ground. I was ready to get up when I wanted to, but I took my time. And once I got up, I dealt the damage again.
Did you get the sense from the brass when you were there that they recognize that they have a star on their hands here? Were you feeling the love? I saw them all in the cage afterwards, like all the execs and all that. Were you feeling that love?
Yeah. PFL is awesome, man. I really, really, really love the PFL, and I really want to stick with the PFL and see where the trajectory. Like I said the last time when I was on the show, I feel like the trajectory of the PFL is only going up and up and up. And I feel like after this win, I'm not trying to say just me, but riding that win, the PFL is just only getting bigger. It's only getting bigger, and like I said, it's still fairly new. Like you said, it's confusing with the new bracket system and the new tournament format and all that stuff. But that's all right. It's going to be here for a while, and eventually everyone's going to understand it. And once everybody understands it, they're going to feel a part of it. And once they start feeling a part of it, they're going to start riding it and start loving it as they should. So I think it's a really cool, really, really, really good promotion, honestly, personally.
So that was
especially on a fighter's point of view.
Sure. So that was 3 fights in a pretty short amount of time. Do you think you're done for this year?
I say yeah, but I feel like once I go a month in or a month into training and just recovery, because I'm going into recovery as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna do an ice bath. I'm doing my recovery. As soon as I'm done recovering fully, I'm gonna want to fight again. So we'll see what the year holds. If there's an end of the year fight, then I really want to be on it. But if not, then beginning of next year or whatever next year holds, then I'm ready to fight whenever they call my name. But honestly, I want to go do some training in Thailand and do all that stuff probably next month.
So August of 2024, you actually fought on August 16th. You fought on the playoff card against Chris Brown. You improved to 7-0. If we would have talked in August of 2024, exactly a year ago, about like, okay, where are you going to be in a year? Would you have believed all this? You're a pretty confident guy, and I think that you have high aspirations, as you said earlier. But would you have believed the story would play out like this so quickly? Honestly,
I would have known that. I would have told you I'm going to be a champion next year. Yeah, I would have definitely said that. I'm a champion next year, but I wouldn't have known how I would have become a champion this year. If that makes sense. I wouldn't have known the story of how it, because in the beginning, from last year after beating Chris Brown, I would have thought they would have wanted me in the tournament. No questions asked, no alternate, no, maybe he's not ready or not. Maybe he's ready or not. No, I'm in the tournament. I wouldn't have thought that. PFL would have thought maybe he's still not ready. He's okay. We'll throw him in as an alternate. We'll see what happens. oh, never mind. Now he's in a tournament. Oh, now he's knocking people out. Oh, he's beating Jason Jackson. Oh, now he beat Storley for the world title. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that, but I would have been able to tell you, yes, I am going to be the champion.
By the way, why didn't they put you in the tournament right away?
I guess from the PFL's point of view, I am undefeated, and I would be going against people with a lot more experience than me. So just to keep my record unblemished, to keep me gaining more experience, putting me more against people with the same amount of level of experience that I have would be the smarter route to go and the business point of view. But as a fighter, I'm ready to fight everyone. So I definitely understand what the PFL was trying to do on keeping me, preparing me for the tournament and going against people at such a high level of experience. But, I've been saying it and I'm going to keep saying it. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I'm ready. I got the heart. I got the willpower, and I'm just ready to keep going.
And so is Thad Gene the new face of PFL?
Becoming. I feel like this was my come out party. I wouldn't say per se I'm the face just yet. Or I'm becoming a face of the PFL. I would say that. I'm becoming a face of the PFL. There are already still way more established faces of the PFL. And like I said, the biggest face I would say is Dakota. We got Johnny Evans, even though he just lost. Vasil now is really big. You got people like Dalton Rosta, who if he wins this title will become one of the faces as well. You have, again, the European scene is super big. Baki, and then Cedric as well is also really big. And then Shamil, I wouldn't say he's a face, but he's one of the people that who I will have to go through to become the face, really solidifying myself as the face of this company.
Well, I respect and appreciate that you're saying becoming. I would agree. I think you're well on your way. You've been the best story so far as these tournaments are concerned. Must See TV was a great fight. So close to finishing him, which would have been incredible, but the performance was spectacular. It was spectacular nonetheless. You got those extra rounds in. You got to prove to yourself and to anyone who didn't believe that you can go 5 rounds. I don't think anyone needed that confirmation, but if they didn't believe, now they know. And you fought a who's who. You fought a pretty tough bracket there. Yeah. So congratulations on the win, on the money, on everything that you're doing. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I'm enjoying getting to know more of you. So there it is. There's the belt. There's the man himself.
Let's go, baby.
Well done, Thad. Enjoy the ice bath, so and thanks for joining us again.
Thank you so much, Ariel. I appreciate you for having me on, and look, for believing now. It's gonna be just that. And I've been watching a lot of GSP, honestly. So that's why I was utilizing. I just wanna shout you out for that. I was watching a lot of GSP utilize, because I saw him use his jab a lot in one of the fights where he was going against a wrestler. I forgot the wrestler's name, but I saw him using his jab a lot. And if you see in this fight, I was really utilizing my jab because I was watching that fight. So yeah, I want to thank you for that.
Yes, I love that. I love that. There's a lot that you can learn, especially from him, especially in that weight class. I don't know if it was the Jake Shields fight, but I thought that might have been the fight that he used the jab the best. UFC 129, April of 2011. In some of this downtime, watch Mr. GSP. You will learn a lot of things from him.
I have.
Love that. Love that. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Ariel. Have a great one.
You too. There he is. Thad Gene, the welterweight tournament champion. Love that he's looking at the legends, and who better than GSP to learn from, right? Especially if you're a welterweight. Incredible stuff. All right. Let us move along now and say hello to our final guest of the day. Always a pleasure to talk to him. He's going to be in one of the massive fights on next weekend's UFC 319 pay-per-view in beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Back at the United Center, of course, headlined by Dricus du Plessis, defending his UFC middleweight title against the one and only, the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev. A very interesting middleweight contender fight on this card. Involves former UFC middleweight title contender Jared, the Killer Gorilla Cannonier, going up against Michael Venom Page. Now, this is interesting because I was under the impression the last time we saw MVP fight, of course, was back in February in Saudi Arabia against Shar Bullet, that was just kind of like a fun pit stop for him at 185 and that he was going to go back to 170. Well, here he is. 2 in a row is a thing at 185. So let's get some answers from the one and only Michael Venom Page, who once again is very kind enough to join us on this Monday evening. Hello, Michael. How are you, my friend?
I'm always good, man. Always enjoy coming on the show. I hope you're well.
This is a nice looking car here. What is this, a Maybach? What do we have over here?
It's a Bentley.
Life is good for MVP. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you as always for coming on. And so can we start there? Was I wrong? Did I misread the situation? I thought that was just like a fun little pit stop, and then we were back down to 170.
You know what? That's exactly what it was supposed to be. Like I said, when I first came in here, I said I'm in it for the big fights, and just make as much noise. This is like the last lap for my MVP's career, so I wanted to make a lot of noise. Obviously, I wanted to do that at welterweight, but I want to go where the smoke is, and it doesn't seem like anybody at welterweight is carrying fire. So it seems to be very political and of who you can fight and who's ready to fight. And I called out everybody and I got no answers. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, for me to just get another fight, let me just fight at middleweight again. And Jared's an amazing, fighter to kind of share the cage with. So, why not?
So was this their idea? Meaning, did they come to you with a welterweight fight that maybe didn't materialize, or did they like the idea of you sticking around at 185? They being the UFC.
They offered, after that last win, I was expecting some really big names, and the name that I got, and I'm not going to offend anybody, so I'm not going to say anything, but the name that I got, I was like, this kind of doesn't make sense. I just beat one of your prospects, and technically, the way it looked anyway, that if he had beaten me, he's looking at title elimination and then moving forward. So what does that mean for me? This guy's supposed to be your prospect, a young up and coming guy, talented, and I've just beaten him. So I was expecting like a bigger name, and just didn't come. So I thought, I'll just push it. I'll just push it myself. I'll ask for a few people, and that's exactly what I was doing. Even at the UFC London, when I was there, I was calling out a few people. And again, normally I don't usually call people out, but I thought that's probably the best way to make something happen. Didn't hear anything back. Didn't hear it. No, there was no responses at all from anybody. It's like, and then I was hearing from in the team. It's like it's just very difficult to match you, which says to me like people are just kind of. I don't like to do the avoiding game, but I think just people are being tactical about who they want to fight next. But I wasn't interested in waiting for another opportunity to get back in the cage. So I was just like, cool, let me stay at middleweight and fight. These guys seem a lot more ready and willing.
Did you like the fact that it was on the same card as the middleweight title fight, or is that just like a bonus? Does that not really come into the thinking?
That was just a bonus, to be fair. I like the fact that it's there. But yeah, that was more just a bonus.
Okay. I have to be honest. When I saw this MVP Chicago, and I don't know if it crossed your mind as well, I went back to Douglas Lima. Because that fight didn't happen in Chicago, but Rosemont, Illinois is a suburb of Chicago, and people always kind of call it Chicago. Did you think of that as well? And is this the first time that you're back in Illinois since that fight?
Yeah, so it'll be the first time that I come back since then. But to be fair, it was actually a friend of mine that reminded me that he's like, because I actually forgot that's where I remember fighting there, and I just forgot who it was I fought. And then he reminded me that it was there. And but yeah, for me, like those things never mean anything. It's just part of the story. And like I said, regardless, losing for me is just a part of my growth. I never see it as anything else. And it was a part of my growth. I managed to get that to get the payback and then continue growing in my career. So for me, it's just a part of the story, and it'll be nice. I like Chicago, so it's going to be nice to be back there, performing and just doing what I do best.
Okay, I was wondering if there was any part of you thinking like, oh, I could right the wrong here, I could exercise these demons and all that stuff, but it doesn't sound like that really comes into to play.
Nah. I never like to be too like superstitious in that way. Like I said, the only wrong that I needed to right was fighting Douglas Lima specifically, and I managed to get that fight again and then win. So for me, that's old news now.
I saw an interview with Jared Cannonier with Submission Radio. You can still see me, right? You can.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it seemed like he had a bit of it seemed like he had a bit of an issue with the fight because he said that he didn't view you as a middleweight. So he was coming off a big win over RoboCop and felt like this didn't really necessarily advance him. He's at number 8. Do you understand where he is coming from, or do you think that mindset is a mistake?
Like I said, there's so much. It feels a bit. I feel like the ranking systems has made everything a bit more political about where people want to go instead of just fighting. And I think that was always the great thing about the UFC is people just fought regardless of where they classed themselves at. And for me, it's a difficult one because I'm a veteran in the game with an established name, but I'm still a rookie or new to UFC. So I feel like the other vets in the game are not willing to really want to risk fighting such an awkward style. And yeah, that can be a bit of a headache for some people. But then again, it's like also not worth me being like a gatekeeper, so to speak, and just fighting new guys coming in either, because obviously I'm trying to progress myself. So I find myself in a bit of a weird situation at the moment. But Jared is going to have his feelings towards it. The fact is he accepted the fight and he signed the contract. So it doesn't really matter what it does for him now.
And so once this comes and goes, and let's say I'm sure you're banking on it, you win. Now you're fully entrenched as a middleweight, right? Like now you're on a path here. You're not going to go back to 170. You're going to see how far this takes you.
Well,
or maybe not.
Like I said, I'm in it. You know what it is? I'm in it for big fights, and at the same time, I do want to get to a title fight. So how I see it now is I'm a person that can fight in both divisions, and depending on what the best path is to the top, which also includes exciting fights. So for example, next year, obviously once a year or sometimes twice, but mainly at the beginning of the year, they like to come back to the UK. Again, I still think a Leon Edwards fight is a great fight for the UK. And obviously that's going to be at welterweight. So if that's offered to me, I'd 100% accept that kind of fight. You know what I mean? But in terms of progression and moving forward, if there's, if I'm told, take this, I don't know who next, but take this fight next, and then, you're in line to be a title eliminator or something where it seems to be less political, then I'll stay up here.
Was the Leon fight ever in play?
Again, these are people that I asked for. I kind of only want it really in the UK anyway, so technically it wouldn't have been in play until next year anyway. So, but yeah, like it hasn't come up. I've mentioned it many times, but it hasn't come up, or hasn't seemed to be reciprocated from anywhere else. But again, I think everything's timing. Like I said, I think if it aligns for next year, that would be perfect. And I genuinely. It's out of respect, and it's more to do with what it does for other up and coming UK talents that can see two young guys that are from their country, from their areas, and that can really motivate and inspire them to say, look, I can do this too, to see two people at the top of their game fighting in a main event. That'd be great.
I seem to remember after the Saudi fight that you said you wanted a quick turnaround. This is like around 6 or so months between fights. Was that what you had in mind, or were you hoping to come back sooner?
That's what I'm saying. I was expecting to jump straight back into it.
Okay.
And like I said, I thought having an exciting fight like that in terms of who I fought against and who I fought, who I beat, I was expecting, I'm going to get offers left, right, and center, and it just didn't happen.
Okay.
And this is why it took so long, because again, I wanted to get down to welterweight or continue. I fought at middleweight, and I could just continue that camp and just continue cutting weight and get down to welterweight for another fight. And again, I just wasn't hearing anything, and there was just seemed to be just too many issues. But supposedly the division was very everyone was already tied up, and it just seemed, I don't know. It just for me, it was irritating. But this is why I was just saying I'm not waiting any longer. Let's just push for whatever fight's available, and. Getting this fight for me is still a great fight. Like you said, he's top 10 in the middleweight division. So it's still a sign of progression.
Well, the silver lining is you got to make your debut as a referee.
Yeah.
In the time off. What is this? Do you ref on like a KSI card? Was this a KSI card? Look at you here. I didn't recognize you in the old school referee outfit.
So basically KSI kind of did this new like TV show. Basically, it's like they get, or any of his fans that can sign up and try to basically earn themselves a Misfit contract. They have to do 4 rounds, win or survive 4 rounds technically. First fight, I think first round was against an amateur. Then it's against a YouTuber or like influencer. Then it's a Misfit fighter, and then it's a pro fighter. And whoever manages to survive, and you get like money each round. It was quite a cool concept. And I just got a phone call from him. He's like, if you're available, can you come down? I was like, look, I'm happy for him, happy to do it. So it was just, I ended up taking up a new job role. And weirdly enough, as soon as I walked in there was a young kid that I seen train in our gym at Shoot Fighters, but nobody knew he was, like, again, this was just open. I only heard about this a couple of days before. So, and weirdly, a few guys that follow KSI heard about it, obviously, because they follow KSI, and signed up for it, and he managed to get selected randomly. He's a young kid, 19 years old, and he just went in there, and he's the only one that won. So like, and it's massive for him, because I think he won like 15K, and for a 19-year-old to do that before he's even had an amateur fight is amazing.
That's Kia Jami, right?
Yes, Kia Jami, yeah.
Shout out. That's incredible.
Big shout, because again, you sometimes you just got to take those risks and put yourself out there, and that's exactly what he did. Again, very respectful young guy. I see him in the gym, but he does the classes, doesn't train with us. So I just, as I walked in, I was like, oh, how you doing? But it's and then nice to see him actually succeed as well.
Did it give you a greater appreciation for what the referees do?
Weird enough, that's not the first time I've refereed. So,
oh, really?
A good friend of mine, before even like influencer boxing was as popular as it is now, a friend of mine, Ed Lofts, used to run a white collar boxing show, and he'd always ask me if I can come down and referee. So I've been in that position quite a few times. I've done a lot of his events. Over the years, he used to do an event called Victory Boxing. So I've done it before.
By the way, you came up recently. We had Darren Till and Luke Rockhold on. They're fighting at the end of August. And Darren was going on this thing about, bare knuckle, and why would I do bare knuckle? Everyone who does bare knuckle, it's just all washed up guys and all this stuff. And I was like, well, what about Michael Venom Page? He did it, because he was taking a shot at Rockhold for doing the bare knuckle and all that stuff. And fair play to Darren. He did say, okay, you got me on that one. Not exactly washed up. I said he's doing even better now than he was back then, pre-bare knuckle. That being said, what do you think of that fight? And do you have a pick as far as who you're leaning towards?
So what? And it's a boxing fight, right?
It's Misfits. It's under KSI.
Okay. Again, the way Darren Till has been looking in boxing, he looks great. He's spoken about many times about he's done like some camps with the Furies and stuff, and you can kind of see that he's very competent. He had a very tough fight against one of my teammates as well, Darren Stewart, another ex-UFC fighter. He had a very tough go, but I understand, like, Darren Stewart has actually been a big part of my camp, this camp, because he's a robot, man. He's seriously just an android. He just walks forward, and you can hit him with everything, and he keeps coming. But again, Darren Till was able to kind of just edge that and come out on top on that fight. You can see how talented and how comfortable he is in the boxing. For me, it's still a shame that he's even not in the UFC anymore.
Yeah.
I think he's a great personality. Again, talented fighter, and just a person that everybody would want to watch, because he brings it. But I know he had a few bad fights, but I definitely believe he could have turned that around.
Yeah, I mean, he lost to DDP at the end of his UFC run, and that fight has aged very, very well. What about that main event? Who do you like in the main event?
I'll give it to Till.
No, DDP Hamzat.
Oh, sorry, CDP. I would say, it's a difficult one, man, because I feel disrespectful every time I say it, yeah. But I genuinely believe this, and I genuinely don't understand why DDP keeps winning, because he's got such a kind of almost messy. He's like a super talented amateur fighter, and again I can see like aspects of his technical ability, but it seems messy. Like it's not a style that is appealing to me. But he just seems to know how to get the win and know how to kind of push through. Like in all honesty, if this fight came up before, I'd be like Hamzat, yeah, no, I'd just pick that, no issues. But DDP just knows how to keep grinding out a win. So it's for me, it's a hard one to even pick. Skill wise, I guess I would say Hamzat again, but DDP, like I said, he just seems to know how to grind out a win. I just think it's a great fight, and I'm glad I'm going to be front row to see that one.
You're always doing a lot of interesting things outside of fighting. I understand that you're executive producer of 2 films coming out, right?
Yeah.
Runner and Weight.
Yes, correct. So yeah, we like I said, I started a film production company. This one is Weight, I believe.
Yep.
And this guy Jonathan, seriously, I think I caught 2 exceptional actors. Ella, that's the other girl there, Ella Bardo. She's gonna be. She was so good. We actually casted her for both films, and she's actually in both of our films.
Wow.
And it was quite cool. Obviously, I started a new ITM production company, and it was just exciting to start something different. I also want to get into acting myself, but I was like, let me try and experiment and kind of learn the ins and outs from the back end. And yeah, this has been an exceptional. We had a great team. Kishan Lakhani, he does all of my. This is how we started. He does all of my YouTube stuff and all of my Instagram stuff. And we talk. We're both creative minds, and we just said, let's start this company and start making films. And literally, it's been fun. It's tough, difficult learning curves and things that you have to really pay attention to. But we're both enjoying it. But yeah, again, with that time off, I was able to kind of get busy elsewhere. So as much as it was annoying from the fight side, we did really, really well everywhere else. So yeah, and you know me, I like to stay busy.
And you don't appear in either film, right? You're strictly EP.
Yeah, so literally just wanted to executive produce, because this is my first projects. I really wanted to just make sure that I could just solely focus on the production and just making sure it ran. The team was good and everything ran well. And seriously, there was people on that work with us. The Martina, our producer. There's like loads of people that are very experienced that all said that like they really enjoyed working with us. Not only, especially with Kishan, he as a director, seriously, he's a director that if you saw him, you'd have thought he was on his 200th film. Like he's been doing it 20 years. He knew exactly what he wants, very meticulous. He just knows, and he knows how to guide people really, really well. And then yeah, it just made everything so much so seamless. And there's always hiccups on films and on set, but the team was just amazing. The team was really amazing. So that's the trailers for it. And then the film's going to be out soon, hopefully. We're just finalizing a few things, but it'll be out soon.
Okay, so I was just going to ask, so you don't know when they come out?
So we still got a few. We're still doing coloring. Like I said, There's a lot of stuff in the back end that we're just finalizing, and then it's also the marketing side of things that I need to learn as well. So we want to put the both films in for all different festivals, and and hopefully it wins awards. And the goal is to when you start winning awards and getting recognition, then when I push, because we got a slate of things that we want to do, but it's going to require funding. So, if you've won awards and people can kind of see our work and see how, good we are, and we did this on a small budget, we can do that on a small budget. If you give us money, I'm telling you, we'll make something real special.
By the way, are you a Man U fan?
Yes, Man United.
Really? So, but you're not from Manchester.
One thing I'd say, like Manchester is worldwide. And everyone says that, but seriously, like no matter what country you go to, you're gonna find a Manchester United supporter. For me, it was when I was younger, my friend, best friend at the time, lived directly opposite me, and I was probably about 6, and he was a Man United supporter because his dad was, and I didn't really watch football at the time, and he would just say, "Oh, just tell everyone you support Man United," and then I would just say it, and then when I got a little bit older, I think it's about 10, 11, I was playing the game. It's like Pro Evolution. I can't remember which one, but that's when I started to learn the names of players and then really started to kind of watch the game and just continue to say I support Man United. And to be fair, I love the team.
Okay, because I saw you repping the kit, and I was like, London guy. I thought maybe Tottenham, Arsenal, one of those clubs. But I understand they are sort of the Yankees, so everyone,
Exactly.
Yes. When do you go out there? When do you go out to Chicago?
So I fly next Monday. I fly out, so I don't need too much
Oh, wow.
to adjust.
Really?
Yeah. I don't.
Even with the time difference, 5 hours. No.
Yeah, never.
Actually, I think it's 6 hours.
Yeah, I've never really had a problem, to be fair, going that way. I actually feel more tired coming back.
Yeah.
So when I get back to the UK is when I really feel it for about a week. But going out there, I've never really had an issue.
And is life so much better as a middleweight? Like meaning, like, what do you walk? What are you right now, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm like, it'll be like 90 kgs. So I'm not sure what that is. I know you guys do it the other way around, but 90 kgs, and I got to get to 84.
Okay, so that's 198.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's nice.
12 pounds. Yeah. What would you be if you were a welterweight? Would you be this big?
No way.
No.
No way. I'd have to get a lot lower. I usually fly. I like to get closer to the weight anyway, but this one, because once my body starts losing, from this point, I get to that middleweight weight division very quickly when I'm cutting to welterweight. So I already know, for me, this is easy. So I can allow myself to sit a little bit heavier and then slowly cut down.
Okay, so 2-1 in the UFC now. This is your 4th fight. Do we need a stoppage? Are we jonesing for a stoppage? Do we need a vintage? Like, do we need to show this UFC public, this audience, what an MVP stoppage is all about?
Yeah, 100%. I've always obviously wanted to kind of get it. Kevin Owens was just bloody tough. I had a very awkward fight with Ian Gary. And again, obviously I'll come up a weight when I was against Shara. So there's certain shots that when you land, I'm like, other people would probably have fallen or wobbled. But again, this is what I've realized in this division, that one shot that I would normally catch, I got to land that about 4 times. And that's when the damage really starts to kick in. So I've been doing extra fitness work, to just be able to push myself to land more combinations and, just keep the work going. But the goal is I always go in there wanting a knockout, and I'd love to be able to deliver that to the fans.
Looking forward to it. Thank you as always for the time, MVP. You're the man. Appreciate it very much. Good luck. Safe travels out there. And good luck with the films as well. Please keep us posted on where and when.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Again, thank you for even previewing. Thank you for having me on as always. Say hello to your nephew as well.
You're the man.
I've been meeting him once.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, love to everybody as well, man.
Amen. Thank you so much. That will make his day. Thank you, Michael. All the best to you. Appreciate it very much as always. There he is, the great Michael Venom Page, returning at UFC 319, which is rapidly approaching, just 12 days away. The final UFC event of this pay-per-view. No, not of this pay-per-view. The final UFC pay-per-view event of this summer schedule, because there isn't one in September. Technically, September is still the summer. If it's before September 21st, I think fall officially commences on September 21st, or is it the 20th? One of those 2 days. There was supposed to be one on September 13th, but as you know by now, that's Noche UFC, and as you know by now, that is also the date of the highly anticipated Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez card, which is rapidly approaching as well on Netflix. Now, some other news and notes. There's a lot more that we need to discuss, so let us get right into it. We did find out just a few days ago, July 31st to be exact, and PT did a great job of covering this on the Boys in the Back on Thursday afternoon, also on the Crack on Friday afternoon, that Conor McGregor has lost his appeal against the civil jury finding in favor of the Irish woman Nikita Hand, who claimed she was raped by Conor McGregor in a Dublin hotel in December of 2018. I'm reading this from uncrowned.com, written by the great Pete C. Carroll. The 3-judge Court of Appeal dismissed all grounds for appeal Thursday in Dublin. Hand was present for the ruling. McGregor was not. McGregor denies Hand's claims, insisting they had, quote, vigorous and consensual sex. As part of his appeal, McGregor's team claimed that the trial judge incorrectly directed the High Court civil jury to decide whether he, quote unquote, assaulted rather than, quote unquote, sexually assaulted Hand. Justice Brian O'More, who sat on the 3-judge panel alongside Justice Isabel Kennedy and Justice Michael McGrath, said the appeal court had no doubt that the effect of the civil court judge, Justice Alexander Owen's charge, was that Hand's allegation against McGregor was that he raped her. O'More claimed it was, quote unquote, unreal to suggest the jury would have been confused due to the brutally clear way the trial judge had framed the allegation. You can read more of this. It's a lengthy piece on uncrowned.com. And so that's that. I mean, he did say that he was going to appeal. He loses the appeal. He did go on social media shortly thereafter and comment on it in a fairly lengthy post as well. There is still a potential perjury probe that is still active, so this story is not quite officially done. But as far as his appeal is concerned, I do not think that he can appeal the appeal. This is also from the uncrowned.com article. It was also, according to the judge, with regard to his appeal efforts, McGregor failed to show a real risk of unfair trial, and his side had not been deprived of the right of an effective cross-examination. Hand's lawyers opposed the appeal and urged the court to allow the November 2024 jury decision that McGregor had assaulted her and its award of €250,000 euro damages to her to stand. An order requiring McGregor to pay Hand's estimated $1.3 million euro, which is approximately $1.58 million, legal costs, was stayed pending the outcome of the appeal. The court today ordered, and this is back on Thursday, that Hand should get her costs in the High Court and Appeal Court against McGregor. So there you have it. Conor McGregor loses appeal over civil sexual assault case. Potential perjury probe still active. It also did come out this past week that he is back in the testing pool, although it was noted that Ally Quinta is still in the testing pool, which I'm not saying he's not. I still don't actually really know what this all is. Like, it is no longer, I mean, they say 2,394, and I believe that, but it's no longer an independent body that is doing this. And off the top of my dome, have there been any high-profile failures? Have they caught anyone? Or are we to believe everyone is just 100% natty at this point? I don't know. But that did come up as well. Sticking with the legal matters, if you will, John Jones has a couple of dates that he needs to know about. This, according to MMAfighting.com. These two dates are related to the same case after he was accused of leaving the scene of an accident back in February. Court records show Jones is scheduled for a bench trial on August 14th based on the charge of leaving the scene of an accident, which is a misdemeanor. The second bench trial is scheduled for September 2nd, and that is also based on a charge for leaving the scene of an accident, along with a secondary charge for use of telephone to terrify, intimidate, threaten, harass, annoy, or offend, which is another misdemeanor. While both cases are related to the same incident, the second case was filed later, with the additional charge being brought against Jones. His attorney, Christopher Dodd, filed a motion to dismiss the second case due to the duplicate charges against the UFC heavyweight, but the judge has not yet ruled on it. Until then, a bench trial is set for September 2nd, with Jones expected to appear virtually alongside his attorney. This according to Damon Martin of MMAfighting.com. So two of the biggest names in the sport with some legal matters, one appearing to come to an end, not in his favor for Conor McGregor, and one just getting started once again for John Jones. Also of note, Max Holloway saying on his YouTube channel that he injured his hand in the fight against Dustin Poirier. He said, quote, "I see a lot of people talking about who's next, who's this, who's that. There's a lot of fun fights for me at lightweight. There's Charles Oliveira. If Justin Gaethje gets the next title shot, that would be cool. If I get the next title shot, that'd be sick as well. But if you have hopes of me fighting before the end of the year, probably not going to happen. I see a specialist sometime soon. I already met with my doctor now. I got to go meet the specialist, but things are not looking too up for me fighting one more time this year. So all that fight talk is on still. We just have to see how the lightweight division is going to pan out." He said he injured his hand at some point in the fight. I don't know exactly when, but it seems as though he may be potentially going under the knife very soon. So we do wish Max Holloway well. The guy that he wants to fight is Ilia Topuria, and he was at some incredible concert. And can we play this? Are we allowed to play this? It's no sound. Why? We get dinged.
We don't want to open that up.
It's the people singing the song.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Really? They were singing his song. What is the name of the song again? There's a name for it. Anyone know it?
The theme song for El Mariachi, but I don't remember the exact.
How does it go again? I can't now think of it.
The one from Desperado?
Sing it for me. There it is. Trust me, I wanted to sing it. I just couldn't think of it.
Every time I hear it, it puts a smile.
And that whole, what was that, by the way? Was that some sort of like music festival?
I think that was just another press conference he was doing.
No, that was not a press conference. I will not accept that.
Pound for pound, right now, is that the best active walkout song?
That's a good question. By the way, this is a good pound for pound.
I'm strictly speaking active. I think it's number one.
Okay, I'd say I really like Max's.
Max's is good.
Hawaiian Kickboxer like puts me, in a mood.
I'm taking LA over it.
Okay. Volk.
Volk's is not bad.
That is.
Volk's is not bad.
See, too many guys. They got to stick to one, and it's got to be iconic. None of this changing songs every time.
Man, Volk versus Ilya, that was a fantastic. Honestly, Ilya's 2024, Volk and Max back to back. Those were two great walkout song fights.
What's Aspinall's walkout? Like, I know he had Englishman in New York, but like, what did he use when he fought in Manchester?
I think he's changed it. Yeah.
Okay. I got one. Pereira
is fucking incredible. Yeah, that's a good one.
Does that trump Ilya?
That's a good one. I think it might. Strictly speaking, song, I think I'm taking Ilya's, because sometimes I'll just be in my house and I'll just throw it on.
Like, this is a good.
And I'm just like, it's
amazing.
In my living room.
I do the same with my kids.
It's so good. Pereira's is more just like badass, and then when you combo it with the stop with the arrow and the scream and everything, that one.
Sugar?
My trumpet. Sugar's been different. Last time.
I know he ruined it.
Walked out to like what?
I'm talking about
Keith Urban or something.
No, he walked out. I'm proud to be an American. It was,
or at least that.
No. I was talking about Superstar.
That was an all-time walkout, especially because he came champ. But like, he's not consistent enough with it. Yeah, that might be a quick Mount Rushmore right there.
Okay. So
Pereira,
the current top five: Pereira in no particular order. Pereira, Holloway.
Yep.
Max,
Ilya,
and who's the five?
You named
Volk.
You named Max and Holloway.
Fuck yeah. Max, Volk, Pereira, Ilya.
We need a fifth.
James Tahuna
there.
Also, Rushmore's 4 though.
No, but
I said Rushmore. He said top 5.
Top 5, yeah.
He said Max. He also said Holloway.
Wait. I feel
this is a mess.
I feel like we did say 5. Max,
Alex, Ilya.
Max, Holloway, Alex, Volkanovski, Pereira.
Max, Holloway. Come on.
Yeah. Max,
Blessed?
Ilya, Blessed, Pereira, Holloway, Volk. Now we have
Fuck
6.
you. There's one that we're missing.
Patty's is
say
good.
Patty's.
Patty has
Yeah,
a good
Patty
one.
might be in it. Yeah,
In Cage Warriors, it was so much better. They produced it better. But yes, that is a good one.
Patty might be 5. Yeah,
Patty's 5?
Patty's is pretty good.
Trying to see here.
I see someone in the chat saying Zombie, but like he's not active anymore.
Not
We're strictly
active.
going on active.
Yeah.
Zombie's incredible. McGregor's is obviously incredible, but like
Been too long.
let's see these guys too long. Dustin also had a great one, but you know.
changed it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going officially top 5 best walkouts right now.
Active.
Max, Ilya, Volk,
Pereira.
Patty, Pereira.
Patty,
Okay,
yeah.
now let's rank
That's
them.
in no order.
Now let's rank them. I'll go. Wait, let me just write this down so I don't fuck this up again.
This is actually really tough. I might
Max,
go
Pereira, Patty, Ilya, Volk.
5-1. I think I'm going 5-1. I think I'm going Max, Patty, Volk, Pereira, Ilya.
Max, Patty, Volk, Ilya, Pereira. Pereira all the way last.
No. God damn it.
Oh, 5-1. Yo, my head is fucked.
It's tough.
5-1.
Who starts with 5, by the way?
You gotta keep the anticipation for
Okay,
what's gonna
blind
be won.
rankings. Blind ranking. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Someone in the
Wait.
chat says, I don't understand the James Tahuna meme.
Hey, by the way, this started with you saying Ilya's number 1, and it doesn't end with you saying Ilya's number 1.
I said Ilya 1. You mixed up Pereira and Ilya.
No.
5-1. Max, Patty, Volk, Pereira, Ilya. There it is.
Oh my God, this is a mess. Okay, so let me get this straight. Max, Holloway. Okay.
Max 5, Patty 4, Volk 3, Pereira 2, Ilya 1.
Yeah, I like that.
That's my
Alex.
5.
Alex is 1.
Which one?
Pereira.
Volk or Pereira?
Alex Pereira is still number 1.
Yeah.
Alex Pereira that's tough to beat. That's tough to beat.
You're not topping.
When Patty came out when he fought at the Echo Arena in Liverpool in Cage Warriors, fuck man, it
So
was
good.
like a rave.
There
It
is
was-
also like with both Ilya and Alex, a little bit less so just because he lost the belt to Magomed, but like when Alex was on that run, and the run that Ilya's on right now, it's like they are the A side and they are in the red corner. They're walking out second. It's like you hear that song. It's like, oh God, like I'm about to die.
Yeah. Though there is like Hawaiian Kickboxer doesn't have the intimidation factor. It just has like the nostalgic good vibes factor.
It's
and
great.
I like that he's stuck with it.
Same thing with Down Under for Volk.
Yeah.
Volk is just like, let's
Wholesome.
fucking go.
That one's
yeah,
wholesome.
It's wholesome.
That's
It's
like
wholesome.
you're with your buddies and you're like, let's go, buddy.
Let's go, Volk.
Come
you got
on.
this.
Yes, the other one makes you want to run through a freaking brick wall.
Also,
yeah.
it's like the Volk meme of anybody ever pulls out, it's just like Volk and it's him sped up walking out. It's just like,
Yes.
even if it's not his weight class.
Okay, I feel good about that. BJ Penn might have the greatest one of all time, by the way. Do you
All
agree, Rick?
time.
It's probably not my number 1. In
Oh,
fact,
man.
didn't we do walkouts? Did we?
Well, you guys did you did walkouts all time.
Or did we do just like the headdress? I don't remember what we did.
I don't think we've ever done walkout songs.
You haven't?
I don't think so, but that's a good one.
BJ's was up there, but I don't know if I'd have it number 1.
Korean Zombie up there.
Yeah, Zombie.
McGregor's is quite good.
Yes.
The remix.
In his prime?
Like in his prime, the Irish flag starts flying.
Oh.
and it, like switches over to Notorious.
Wait a
and
minute,
it
Connor.
fades off.
How do you not have the homie?
Oh my God,
Alexandre Pantoja, Many Men.
Pantoja with Many Men is also fantastic. That falls into the category of the Taporia and Pereira.
Has he been
like,
doing it
I'm
the
gonna
entire
die.
run?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Dude, back
it's
in
been
like
Many Men.
Me and Rick were like super hyped for the Alex Perez fight back in like 2022, and he
Even
was,
from
he was
his
still playing
debut?
it then.
I don't know
it's
about all the way from debut, but he's been doing it for quite a
Since
a
he's
long
been
time
on like
now.
main cards of pay-per-views.
Yeah. Speaking of which, shout out to speaking of music, by the way, shout out to Marcio Rufi. By the way, is it Rufi or Huffy? Because I feel like he's Brazilian. It should be
Dealer's choice.
Huffy. Anyway, he's fighting BSD as we talked about earlier at this Paris card coming up on September 6th, which is a really nice card. And it's turned into France versus the Fighting Nerds because in the main event, we're getting Nassourdine Imavov against Caio Borralho, which is a fantastic middleweight fight. Should produce, the number one contender at 185. And now you're getting this fight as well, which I love. And he posted a fun video. Now, can we not play this? There's French music playing in the da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. This is great stuff from Mauricio.
Look at him in the Engaged jacket. Shout out.
Oh, yeah. He's an engaged guy. I saw that. He's got a nice little croissant. He's got a little cafe. This is good stuff. Hair coiffed to the
Piping
side.
hot.
Yeah.
Really ballsy on him to take a sip of that.
Didn't even, he said no croissant. Didn't even like breathe it. He didn't even like blow on it.
That
One
thing
shot.
is steaming up.
Yeah. Love it. Love
Great
that fight.
Love it.
According to Renato Moicano, he's going to steamroll right through him.
Yeah, Renato was pretty
Very,
confident
very confident.
Renato called the Chris Duncan as well.
He did. Well, that's his boy, ATT guy, so he's a little biased there. Maybe biased towards the Brazilian. I love Renato. Does Renato think I don't like him or something? What's going on?
No,
I think he's dealt with
He's on the
probably a
defensive.
lot of, I think he's on the back foot when it comes to this. Like, so many people have asked him and so many people have criticized him that it's gotten a little bit tiresome for him.
Appreciate him coming on.
I think he thought that you had an angle with the question as opposed to just you're looking for explanation.
Yeah.
He's probably used to people, instead of looking for explanation, coming at him. You know, like
No, he says UFC doesn't care about fighters. So I'm like,
explain that.
what you
Yeah,
mean by that.
Yeah.
That's a big statement, especially for a UFC fighter to make. I don't know. I listen. I'm okay with
I
that.
thought it was a very interesting conversation.
Ultimately, like he could do whatever he wants. I did think that one of the most interesting parts was he wished he took the money and donated it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that he didn't think of that. That was
Yeah.
interesting.
Or that he said, if it was a higher amount, maybe I would have taken it. This doesn't exist in a vacuum. He's openly saying, like, this is all fluid. There's things that I'm weighing here, but I'm standing on my principles.
Yeah, I mean, it's also his life, his choice to make. I bought contacts lenses, didn't get the mail-in rebate. Nobody's coming after me for that.
That's right. Good point.
How could you not get the fucking rebate, you idiot?
Yeah.
That's
By the way,
literally just leaving money on the table.
sometimes when I go to CVS, I don't put my phone number in to get the 10 cents
you
off.
idiot.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to me.
Sometimes when I'm on Amazon, I don't click the thing to get the $1 off just because I want to.
That's literally charity.
I feel like they deserve it.
No, actually, whenever I go to Whole Foods and it's like, scan your Prime code, I'm like,
You know what?
what if
No.
I didn't?
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Keep your.
Yeah.
I'll pay the.
You
extra
deserve that
$4.
money. You deserve
Yeah.
that money.
You guys don't make enough.
Speaking of money, guys, what about this from TMZ? Jake Paul has retained powerhouse attorney Alex Spiro to pursue legal action against the people spewing lies about his boxing career. TMZ Sports has learned the YouTuber turned boxer retained one of the biggest lawyers in the biz to be in his corner as the allegations his bouts are scripted have done some serious damage. So he's going after them. Spiro tells us, TMZ, I've been retained by Mr. Paul to pursue legal redress for the damages he has suffered. If someone uses their public soapbox to harm him and the sport with lies, there will be consequences. He's worked with the likes of Jay-Z, Elon Musk, Alec Baldwin. He claimed to be going after or would be going after Piers Morgan after Piers claimed that his fight against Julio Cesar Chavez was not exactly 100% on the up and up. So he's going after it. You'll recall Eddie Hearn went after Jake Paul when he said in an interview that he wasn't on the up and up with the judges. So perhaps he learned something
from the
that.
playbook.
Yeah. What else here? I'm trying to go through all the news and notes. One of your favorite fighters, GC. In fact, two of your favorite fighters have been matched for UFC 320. Did you see this? Abus Magomedov and Joe Pyfer.
No.
You love these guys.
This is also breaking news that these are two of my favorite fighters.
I thought you. Yes.
I love Joe. Yeah, shout out. Abus,
No?
Yeah, I guess I'm big on the German pipeline
I
these
feel like
days.
you've talked a lot about Magomedov.
Yeah, who's this guy that just won?
What's so funny?
Abus, who's this guy that just won? The dude that reps Germany, the model. Why can't I think of his name right now?
He's unbelievable.
The handsome guy.
Yes.
Stay Pretty.
Yes. Oh my God.
Look at Rick got his mouth velcroed shut. He has no idea who I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about. I don't know his name like
yeah,
you.
Dulatov, yeah.
But
yeah, I'm big into the German pipeline. I want to see what's coming out of it.
It's you asked what's so funny. It's just funny that this is his favorite fighters, and
I feel like you have said in the past that you really like Magomedov. You even call him Abus.
Yeah, I mean we are on a
bullshit.
We are on a first name basis. Speaking of that, I was with my friends who never watch MMA. Speaking of German MMA, and one of them was like, "Oh, have you ever seen this guy?" And he pulled up Max Holzer from Octagon.
oh hell yeah!
I was like, "Yeah, I have seen him. How the fuck have you seen him?"
Yeah, that's our boy.
Yeah, he said it was the walkout.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, it was just like a random video?
Yeah, but he showed me a couple of them.
Wow.
And then he showed me the guy that looks like the giant Paddy Pimblett, I think from Cage Warriors.
Yes.
Like the dude that looks like the giant angry Paddy Pimblett. I was like, wow, man, you're big into the European regional MMA.
So you're sitting there and your friend is just spamming, like showing.
He's showing me this while we're watching the Abu Dhabi card, and I was like, Robert Whitaker in the main event, and he's like,
nah, you got to watch.
Never
this.
heard of him.
Wow.
Have you seen Max Holzer though?
Yeah.
Like, what the
Yo, that's our guy.
Shout out.
Shout out.
I don't know. I thought you'd be a little bit more excited about that one. I feel like you have specifically said that you're a big fan of Pfeiffer and Magomedov, but maybe I'm thinking.
Look, man, I love Joe Pfeiffer. He comes in the studio.
He's the
Drives
man.
his truck. He's
Tremendous
the man.
hair.
Tremendous hair. Avis Magomedov. I'm down. I'm down to get in the hive. Him and Dulatov will be my two favorite fighters.
Hector Lombard and Czech Congo in the Pillow Fight Championship on ESPN. Did you guys see this? Was it really on ESPN or was that just the screen grab?
No, it was on. They had the Ocho. So
yeah.
It was on
when does the Ocho come into play?
I forget when they
August.
do it each year, but
It's typically I want to say August 8th they do it, like real dead sports time.
Oh, that would make sense. 8/8.
Yeah, 8/8.
Oh,
right. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. It's 8. It's currently 8/4.
No, I know, but maybe just old footage that popped up.
Rick says that would make sense. I'm like, no, actually, it's
Was it
not
on
8/8.
makes this is like the Paulo Costa makes sense. No, makes sense.
No.
It must be in August though because of that being the 8th month. But shout out to the Ocho and shout out to them pillow fighting.
Who won, by the way?
Shout out to Doc.
I actually have no idea.
Hector Lombard.
Hector Lombard won. I guess we're not going to play the footage because we somehow got. I don't understand this, by the way. We got dinged. Okay, so I see all these YouTube channels. Can I just tell you my latest? I don't even want to call it a vice because I feel like vice is negative, but like my latest go-to, which I'm binge watching like crazy, not just watching but listening, because I usually like to listen. I have. Okay, I'm going all over the place here, but please stick with me.
We're with you, man.
I find that the podcasts like Spotify, Apple, things aren't as interesting on there these days. I'm in the mode right now where I go on there and I'm like, I don't really want to listen to any of this. And there's more interesting stuff on YouTube, clips, etc., etc.
Those fighting words.
And my latest thing is Maven Huffman's YouTube channel. Rick and I have talked about this a little bit. It's unbelievable. Hey guys, Maven here. And his stories are amazing. And the way he tells his stories, for those that don't know, Maven Huffman, former WWE guy, won Tough Enough, was in WWE, I think, from 01 to 05. Rick, you've watched some of his videos, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
His videos are so good, and his channel is on fire. Like,
what's so crazy about it is he was a jobber, but he's like
he wasn't a jobber. I think that's unfair. That's unfair.
No,
I've never heard of him, but I'm.
He's great. He's great.
What? He was in like main promos? Nah.
No, he had that big moment where he eliminated the Undertaker in the Royal Rumble. Okay, but Jobber to me is like the Brooklyn Brawler. Like he wasn't a guy who just put people over. They were really behind him, and as he has told on the channel, he screwed up and he didn't apply himself. But his stories are amazing and his videos are amazing.
Have you come over to the dark side yet of YouTube on the television?
No, I don't do that. I can't do that.
You got to get.
My kids do that. I can't sit.
It's just
no,
fantastic.
YouTube to me is on the phone. Very rarely, even on my computer.
No.
Now, are you sitting there searching for videos, or are you getting served like the next up? Like, how does your consumption happen?
If I'm on a walk,
run,
walking the dog, in the car, long drive, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, fire some things up.
No, but like how? Are you searching for like
I'll go to the feed, I'll go to the subscriptions, I'll go to the recently updated, or uploaded,
Yeah.
or I'll just search things out.
Okay.
And then go to the channel. And I'm a little late to his channel, so there's so much there.
No, his
stuff is amazing. I'm
got
really
really good
impressed.
breakdowns.
And his the way
Delivery
he
is
tells
cadence,
his stories, is very fun. And I mean, like, that's tough enough. I remember it vividly. I was in college watching it, and then I remember him. I actually took a picture with him at WrestleMania 18 at the Access. I'd love to have him on the show just to talk about like how he's turned this. Like, he might have one of the best channels. In fact, I like the way he breaks things down. There was one video where he did this thing where he picked up these cards, and it was like a face on there, and he'd have to tell his thoughts on that person. So it'd be like Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, Vince McMahon. And every single time he'd pick up a card, he'd do this laugh, this sort of fake laugh, this this guy, what can you say about The Undertaker? And then the best is, like, you go to the comment section for him, and no one's like shitting on him for the laugh, but they're all commenting on it, but in a nice, friendly way. Like, his whole community is very nice and supportive. It's a nice thing to see. I'm very happy for him. Anyway, can I be 1,000% honest with you guys? How the hell did I get on this path?
Fever dream.
I don't even remember how I started talking about
I'm actually not sure. You mentioned something about podcasting being boring now.
You hate podcasts now, and you just wanted to talk about
Well, we're
Aben's
on a
YouTube.
podcast.
Avis Magomedov?
No.
I thought it started with Islam Dulatov and how beautiful I think he is.
Wasn't it with
Rushmore,
the top 5 walkouts? I think it was something about the top 5 walkouts.
Now you guys are fucking me up.
I'm for real. I don't know how you got on there.
You just started with "Can I be honest with you guys?" and you just
yeah, you just wanted to be honest.
No.
Just wanted to be honest.
And then as you started, you were like, I'm all over the place. Just stay with me.
No, seriously. How the hell did I start talking about this guy?
You literally just
No,
said,
no.
"Can I be honest with you
This
guys?"
has
and
never
went on
happened.
about it.
Yeah, the Frankie flu, the brain fog is
Yeah.
bad.
Okay. This might be a sign. Yeah. Fuck. Seriously, this is gonna kill me. It's gonna come to me at some point.
Yeah,
and it's-
when you're driving.
I think you were trying to go somewhere, and you've now lost that roadmap. Like, you don't know where you were going.
Yeah.
But you just started here.
Nothing-
You just went. Let me tell you something, guys.
Yeah.
Like, it was like Sean Strickland. Like, let me tell you something, and you went with it, and then lost where you were.
And that was last Tuesday.
Nothing
Yeah.
worse than being in the flow of a conversation and you completely forget where you were going with something.
But this is sort of my job. Like, I'm supposed to.
Look, man, when you're sick, you're sick.
Is this an existential crisis right now?
Oh my god!
This
I,
is
like,
sort of my
Shout out all the
job. I do
podcasts
this
while we're recording a
professionally.
podcast.
no, I didn't do that. I just said, like the collection. I'm getting kind of tired of my collection. Maybe I'm not subscribing to the right things. Maybe I'm not subscribing.
Nah, it's okay for you to go to a
Speaking
different
of which,
platform.
hit
Yes.
the like and subscribe.
Yes, please. We could use it. Like and subscribe. We're trying to hit. What's our number that we're trying to hit by the end of the summer? 338 or something.
335.
335. So if you could do that for us.
I
that'd
just
be
I
great.
genuinely get confused. Like, there's over 2,000 people watching right now. There's only 5 likes on the video. Like, come on, everyone, just hit the like button.
Hey,
Have
man,
fun.
I think you should probably refresh, right?
Yeah. By the way, that's not true.
Yeah, it's not 5, man.
Yeah. What the fuck,
Seeing
bro?
322.
Yeah. What the hell, bro?
Thanks,
All
though.
right.
I appreciate it.
Why are you
I can see
hating
what
on
you're
our?
talking about.
Yo, I for one appreciate everyone who's watching and everyone who has given us a thumbs up. So what the hell? Thumbs up to the chat. Thumbs up to the chat. Yeah, everyone leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, Roger. Everyone who's watching right now, a like and subscribe. We're not asking for much. It's free. Anyway, to the super chats. By the way,
Zach Mitchell.
oh,
There's more. Go ahead.
I wanted to text you guys, but I was like, my reply, my text to reply ratio is like 30% at this point. At this point, I'm just speaking to myself on the chat thread, and I showed my kids Billy Madison for the first time on Wednesday.
Hey, Carl, good
What'd
to
they think?
see you.
Yeah, what do they think?
They loved it. They loved
good.
it. They think Happy Gilmore's better, but I think they're still like in the Happy Gilmore 2-1 vibe. They were getting really annoyed when I started quoting every single line.
Before it
And
happened.
yeah, and I could understand that is annoying. I did have to very quickly fast forward through Nudie Magazine Day scene.
Yeah.
That was the only time. And then my wife was like, maybe this
Isn't it
isn't.
like 2 minutes into the movie you had to hit? So
You
why
know
didn't you
it.
just start after that?
I forgot about it.
Your favorite movie, and you forgot about.
I forgot. It's been a while.
It pops up and
honestly,
you start sweating.
It's been a while that I watched it
What
start
day
to finish.
is it?
What's the next Sandler movie?
Suntan lotion is good for me. You protect me.
What's the
My
next
favorite
Sandler
part
movie?
is when he shows that he has Frank's shirt on.
Oh, look at all the look at all the thumbs up in the chat right now. This is amazing. Oh yeah, when he does the Frank. Okay, funny you say that. I've now said for the rest of the summer we're gonna watch all the other Sandlers. So it's a toss up right now between Big Daddy,
Okay.
Wedding Singer,
Yep.
Click,
Yep.
Oh, Click's a sad one.
Little Nicky.
Waterboy.
Oh,
Waterboy.
Waterboy next.
Waterboy next.
I think
Wait,
they'll
what
like
about-
Waterboy the best.
Big Daddy. Big Daddy's
No,
my
Big Daddy's after. Waterboy next.
Wedding Singer.
I agree with that. I think they'll like. Yeah. Oh, and also 50 First Dates, but I think it's a little too romantic.
First
for them.
Dates is so like 50 First Dates, Click, Mr. Deeds is more of like this feel good, like a little more serious.
I don't think he said Mr. Deeds.
Forgot about.
Oh, I was throwing Mr. Deeds in there because Mr. Deeds is a
Wedding
fantastic movie
Singer.
that you like when he gets the fucking Hawaiian punch in the water fountain. That's all time. The Black Foot.
Renting out MSG.
Oh, they're renting out MSG. It's fucking incredible. Waterboy, though, I've probably seen like 98 times.
Waterboy.
It was the only movie my grandma owned on VHS randomly. It was a nice orange tape. And me and my brothers,
So
whenever
good.
we had to go to the grandma's house, we would just run up the Waterboy a million times.
My two top Sandler comedies are Happy Gilmore, Waterboy.
Waterboy is so good.
Waterboy's so good. Happy Gilmore, Waterboy. No Billy Madison.
It's number 3
Wow.
for comedy. Number 2 overall, Uncut Gems. Number 1, Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore,
They're gonna say Punch Drunk
Uncut
Love.
Gems.
I love Punch Drunk
Waterboy.
Love.
Longest Yard?
You guys saw that Punch Drunk Love?
I've seen
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So good.
How many times do we just list off our favorite
Jack
actors?
and Jill?
Number one. Number one.
Anybody?
Listen-
Jack and Jill? Anything?
Murder Mystery 1 and 2, no?
Listen, guys, I drew the blue duck because I had never seen a blue duck before.
Grown ups?
That's quacktastic.
Oh, it's so good, Frank. I feel like Frank's the only one who actually likes it as much as I do.
To the point when I watch it, ritualistically, you have to quote it before the lines come out.
Oh, yeah.
That's just, it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's like the required watching.
Can I be 100% honest with you guys?
No.
You forgot why.
I've been doing all of this to try to remember why I got into the Maven, and I still can't remember.
Zach Mitchell 2239 says, Micah, please don't leave.
Talking about Michael Parsons, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going through our own problems over in Bill's Land with what's up with your boy James Cook? He's being a bit of a nuisance right now.
Who is your boy here? So we're
Nah,
just
James
clear.
Cook went to
GC.
Georgia, bro.
Yeah, that's your boy.
I know.
Yeah,
I agree.
You knew what I was talking
Pay him
about.
his money, man.
Yeah, what the hell?
He'll stop being such a nuisance if he gets what he deserves.
In the 9 years that our GM, whose name is escaping me right now because I can't think of anything, golly, I'm really the GM of the Bills. Just was watching an interview with him. This is awful.
Brandon Bean.
Brandon Bean, thank you, God. Oh, what a day. In the 9 years that he's been at the helm, he's never had a contract holdout before. Till James Cook.
Look, man, running back market's tough.
Come on,
Career's short.
James.
Get your money.
Get it together.
No, come on, Bean. Pay him.
We need him on board. This is our time.
I know.
By the
pay
way, I
him.
think Hard Knocks starts today.
Oh.
I have to say, not happy about it.
Yeah, teams are on a hard rocks, never win the Super Bowl.
We need to be focused. We don't need these distractions, but I will be watching. Anyway, sorry about Micah. Go Bills. What else?
Sammy J6Z3S says, hello, team. Can we, as Swedish MMA fans, take some pride if Hamzat wins, as he once represented?
Sure. I don't see why not. I mean, he spent a lot of time there. I think he was introduced to MMA there. I think he's still sort of like a part of the All-Stars team in some way, shape, or form, like by proxy.
Yeah, claim it.
Yeah, why not? Sure. What else?
Jake and Nader 722. Hey, Ariel, just wondering if you and Dave Meltzer are still cool. I know you had some disagreements, but I enjoyed your video with him back at MMAF.
Yes. As far as I'm concerned, yes. Very cool. Much respect. Legend of the game. No issues whatsoever. Tremendous. Even last week, I was talking about going to the basement of the Syracuse Library and eating my sandwich while reading The Observer. I referenced him earlier today, talking about the Brock Lesnar thing 4 weeks ago, all that. Still listen to his stuff from time to time. I don't subscribe, but that's just because, I don't know, there's a lot of other stuff, but it's incredible. His longevity, his work ethic. I don't think the guy's ever taken a vacation. And I know it's cool online to crap on him, but I have a ton of respect. I think he's prolific and a trailblazer. And sometimes he's not been, on the same page as me, and that's fine, but that doesn't make me respect him less. In fact, after my interview with Eric Bischoff, he sent me a message sort of refuting some of the things that he said, and I appreciated it and thanked him for it, and it was all good. What else?
And lastly, MMA Full Stop Dungeon says, Shady Bishal MMA here, covered PFL AC at the presser with Coach. I asked about Ebelin and Van Steenis and Usman and Hughes too, and he said no one wants them.
I'm very happy that this is the last message. Shady is doing a great job. He's a great young reporter, and I've gotten to know him a little bit. And yes, he was at that press conference on Friday, and he's referencing asking Jonathan Coachman about the Costello Van Steenis versus Johnny Eblen and Paul Hughes versus Usman Nurmagomedov fights. And the answer was very confusing. Coachman essentially saying, at least this is my interpretation of it, that there isn't high demand for these fights, these two rematches, and that, you know, the way that the PFL has it figured out with the tournament winners fighting the champions is the way to go. And the exchange, which you can find online, is an interesting one, because I don't recall a promotion ever trotting out a broadcaster to be in this sort of promoter role. I'm not trying to pick any sort of fight with Jonathan Coachman. I swear to God, I'm not. This was a question that was asked here. But we know that there are people within the PFL who make decisions. Why are you trotting out a broadcaster to be put in this position? He is not a decision maker. He is not a matchmaker. He is not a promoter. He is not a guy who is hiring and firing, signing people, speaks well, obviously has a long and successful career on camera, broadcaster, all that stuff. But the idea of putting him at the dais to answer these questions, to me, only exemplifies that there's a lack of basic understanding as to who should be up there. Triple H being up there makes sense because he does the hiring and firing, along with others, but he's in those rooms. We know he's a decision maker. Dana White being up there makes sense because he does the hiring, firing. Bob Arum, Scott Coker, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren. Do you understand? There's a trend here. Someone in the PFL saying, "Oh, let's just put this guy because he speaks well and he could just talk to the people." Those press conferences mean nothing. It's even worse than when the UFC sends Dave Shaw out there, because at least he's an executive. He's never going to say anything that's going to ruffle any feathers because there's a pecking order, but at least he's an executive. And there's a big difference between someone in a pre-fight press conference, which is this there to sort of like put on a show and, you know, let the traffic flow, as opposed to someone who is, you know, in the post-fight press conference who's talking about what's next. This just shows that behind the scenes, whoever is at the top making these calls is lacking a basic understanding as to what makes a fight promotion tick, as to what makes it go round. You need someone up there. It's not about being dynamic. It's not about selling. It's about having answers to questions about the future of the promotion. Shady asked that question, and I couldn't believe the answer. We don't have the clip because we weren't ready for it, but I couldn't believe the answer, and I couldn't believe how off I couldn't believe how off base it was. I really couldn't. And again, I would say this it's not a personal thing. So I'm not trying to pick any sort of fight. I know we've had our history. This is not what I'm trying to do. I don't think a broadcaster should be in that position. Any broadcaster. It should be the decision makers. And you may be the most boring person on the planet. But if you're the decision maker, that's who we want to hear from. Bill Belichick was very boring, but he was the decision maker. That's who we want to hear from. We don't want to hear from the play-by-play guy. And he's not even that. So, yeah, that was weird. I wouldn't put too much stock into it. I don't know what they're going to do at 185. It sounds like they're pretty set on this Edwards Rasta winner fighting for the belt. I still think they'll go in the direction of Hughes versus Nurmagomedov too. But yeah, that was weird. Anyway, speaking of PFL, there are some reports that are out now. I apologize. I don't remember who. Do we know who reported this first? The Zubaira Tuhugov Artem Lobov fight. Did we see that? Where was that? Where was that?
I think MMA Uncensored and Artem did like a collab post on IG.
Well, there you have it. Tomorrow on the program, we will be joined by Artem himself. And this is a crazy story. Obviously, these two guys have a history dating back to UFC, what was it, 223 in 2018, April of 2018, Brooklyn, the Dolly. Obviously, his relationship with Conor isn't what it once was. But looking forward to that conversation with Artem, who apparently is coming back in October for the PFL to fight Zubaira, who he told us on this version of the show many moons ago that he would fight him for free. Brian Battle going to join us as well. He returns to action next week. I mentioned Andy Foster, perhaps one more. I had talked about a Tapology thing that I want to talk about. They have these new rankings that just came out. We'll save that for tomorrow because if I'm being honest, my voice is disappearing. And so I want to save it for tomorrow. For now, though, let us say goodnight. Was there another super chat or was that the last one?
All of them.
All right. So we say goodnight.
I think you're sounding better than at the beginning.
Well, certainly how I came out of the gates there was a little bit rough. It's tough.
It is tough.
How was your weekend, Frank?
It was great.
You sound much better.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It was, definitely a long walk down the hall of sickness, but
No. I can't imagine.
Now that I was able to shell it off to someone else.
No, I
I have
can
to
imagine.
say, yeah.
I did want to give a special shout out to a very key member of our team. Today is the birthday of one Nicole Gartner, who is a very, very important member of our team. Some like to joke that she's the head of biz dev. I'm not really quite sure what her title is, but she does very important things, and we appreciate her very much. I think she's turning, 25, 26 today? And also, I would be remiss if I don't mention that our fearless leader, EJ, New York Rick, celebrated his birthday on Friday.
He's a birthday boy.
You know yourself. What did you do? Anything fun?
Went for sushi at like noon.
Oh, yeah.
Over by 1:30, and never addressed anything about my birthday after that ever again, and it was the best.
Wow, not even a cake?
Nah.
Over at
time for that,
California
Everyone
roll,
needs
he's got his kid by a collar. Don't ever mention my birthday again.
Everyone needs to blow out a candle on their birthday.
Nah, not after you're 10 years old.
You know what?
Enjoy life, man.
Yeah, man. Celebrate them.
I am.
By the way,
by not wasting time on trivial shit like this.
Your kids didn't give you a present?
No.
Oh
my wife, my
Read
kids,
the room.
none. Didn't need one.
His wife gave him a present. And he threw it in the trash.
I burned it in front of their little faces.
Thank you, MVP. Thank you, Renato Moicano, Thad Jean, Martin, Buday. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of them. Back tomorrow, same time.